And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, one and all, to the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League, the RSL Season 6 Playoffs Day number 3 co-stream. I'm of course host VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the main casters as well, and by the lovely people in the chat as well. Welcome, one and all, to our third day covering the playoffs here of the RSL. For those who are just now tuning in, for those who are curious, I'm of course host VIP, and here we do co-stream the RSL. Co-streaming is kind of like live reacting. It does mean that we don't have a clean feed, we have a dirty feed instead, so we can hear the other casters. We can hear the other casters, and we can add our own commentary on top of their own, to add some insight, to add our own little tidbits as we do get into our night of StarCraft. Again, we've been doing this for like 2 years at this point, since season 2, I think, season 2 or season 3 of the RSL. But alas, of course, our coverage does continue as well. Bearing in mind that we are a couple of days into the playoffs already. If you missed out on day 1 and day 2 of the playoffs last week, we did cover them last week on the channel, so you can check them out over on YouTube when it comes to that VOD content. Likewise, this event does lead into the offline finals at BlizzCon. True. So again, this event, the finals will be taking place over in BlizzCon. Bearing in mind, it's only the finals, not the semis or lower bracket finals, upper bracket finals. It's purely the finals over at BlizzCon. Bear that in mind. As we get ready here for our matches. Now, I did see some people notice in the chat, but the RSL playoff days are very short, usually around like 2 hours, like 2 hours long, very short broadcast days. The reason for this is because we only have a couple of series, only 2 series per broadcast day, but this has been the case for RSL for the past 2 years, so if you maybe were unaware of this, then you might be new to watching RSL, but they've always had a very short broadcast days. So here we go. We are getting ready here for our night of StarCraft. Once again, game 1 or series 1 is going to be ByuN versus SHIN. We have 2 series, ByuN versus SHIN and Solar versus Lambo, 2 elimination matches. Again, these series are to knock players out of the tournament, out of the playoffs. Bearing in mind, this is double elimination and this is the lower bracket, so we can still progress and still have another chance to keep things going. But again, 2 players will be bowing out of the RSL. Oh boy. Likewise, this is the second broadcast of the day. I do recommend this morning's broadcast. If you missed it, we did cover the CranKy tournament, the grand finals. The finals of CranKy was this morning, which we did cover here on the channel in English. That is a StarCraft Evolution tournament, and of course we were the main English casters for that event. So if you missed out on the morning broadcast, do check it out. Otherwise, we're here with the evening cast. Let's go. There's the reason why we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, because we're always live. No. So again, second broadcast of the day. For now though, again, if you want to support the RSL, you can do so via the Patreon, !RSL in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Patreon page of the RSL. You can, as a result of that, you can of course take part when it comes to voting. They do have a lot of benefits when it comes to being a patron. You can vote for maps, you can vote for players, you can also get discounts on RSL merch as well, and replay packs. So a lot of benefits with that RSL Patreon. Meanwhile, bam, you can see the bracket ready for you tonight. You have the full double elimination bracket, so we have the upper matches. They're going to be taking place tomorrow. You can see they're the 2nd of August. Meanwhile, here on the 1st of August, we do have ByuN versus SHIN and Solar versus Lambo. Those lower bracket matches are going to be today. Upper bracket matches will be tomorrow. True, 2 days. Have a good stream. Oh my god, get some sleep, papi. Get some sleep. Buenas noches, papi. Buenas noches. Ay. But again, we're going to be getting into this. Of course, both State and Tasteless are going to be covering the playoffs here today, at least. I know that Tasteless was absent from day 1 and day 2. Looks like he will be here for day number 3, at least. True. Let's go.
We've had the last 2 years of StarCraft, everything's been squished into the middle of the year. Hopefully we have more of a kind of spread out, evenly paced.
Oh, we have our players.
2027. So these are 2.
Is that a new Shopify jersey for ByuN?
And I think they're fairly evenly matched.
I don't think I've seen it have that green tinge before.
Right now, but okay. I think if ByuN takes this, it's no shocker.
Yeah, with how many changes we've had to the balance recently, all these little knobs getting turned, it's hard to say who's going to be favored. In terms of raw skill, ByuN and SHIN, for me, they're neck and neck. They have been neck and neck for years.
So we have 2 players here, ByuN and SHIN. We have our cams, Vitos are done. We have Fear and Faith, Ruby Rock, At Attorney's Edge, Old Sun Temple, and Necropolis. Okay, so we do have our 4 maps. Looks like we have some 4-player small maps in Fear and Faith and the Old Sun Temple. We do have a more defensive map with Necropolis as well, but looks like we're jumping into game 1. Oh my god.
We are in the best of 5 portion here. of the tournament here. So we're going to get a nice series between these two players and see basically, you know, how they're going to be approaching TVZ. I think you're totally right, State. You were saying earlier, like it's kind of up in the air who's better, because we've had a lot of radical changes in the game, you know, worker count, the very macro mechanics that kind of hold the whole game together have been adjusted and recalibrated. So, yeah, I mean, let's see, you know, what they're going to be showing us here. But, you know, as far as StarCraft 2 goes right now, you know, there's a lot at stake. I mean, BlizzCon is going to be
yeah. So in the top left-hand corner, we do have the South Korean Terran. I forgot that they don't introduce players. In the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player for Onside. It is SHIN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Whether this will go the way of ByuN or SHIN, this is a best of 5. Now, the casters, they were just alluding to the idea that the meta right now is still forming and the game is still shifting. I would say for TVZ, that is not the case. TVZ has stabilized quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. And we have set ourselves in the meta. When it comes to the meta itself, Terran players are typically being hyper-aggressive in the mid-game, hyper-aggressive, going for delayed expansions and going for a heavy Rax play as well. I would say that now it is more viable to do so because the CCs are cheaper, so you get less punished for delaying your command center and by going for a much more active and aggressive and robust start to the game. So that's kind of what we're expecting here by ByuN, is to see more aggression. We are loading into a 4+4 map, so there is a bit of an RNG factor at play, but SHIN will find ByuN with the second Overlord scatting across the map. Meanwhile, Zerg players, they typically want to fight for map control and build up to a solid and robust economy, but on this map it can be quite difficult to take a 5th base because of how spread out the bases are. You're very, very spread out, you're very spread thin, and aggression from Terran is going to be favored because of the spawn locations.
But, you know, some people are kind of like, that's not a big deal at all. And I'm like,
oh, it's huge.
No, it's huge because, you know, that means you get your expansion up quicker, it starts quicker, it then therefore finishes.
They're talking
quicker.
about the 300 mineral CC.
Come out quicker. And all of that, you know, it's a lot of the early game of StarCraft. It's kind of like you're a snowball going down a hill. You're trying to accumulate.
So from my understanding, I don't think Tasteless has casted on the new patch. So I think he's going to be speaking mainly in generalities at the moment, which is so far the case. It is going to be a second Rax out of ByuN, so ByuN is going for a 2-on-1 variation. It could be a 3cc 2-on-1. It could be a 3-1-1 even as well with a third Rax. But regardless, heavy bio play, early stim out of ByuN.
Freshen things up. I think that is long-term going to be good for the game, as long as they can kind of find the right beats to hit.
Oh, and SHIN's going for a very fast Baling Nest on just 2 hatcheries. With that Overlord, he spots the command center first.
SHIN is going for a Bane Bust.
He's going up against, and this is just going to be a classic Ling Baneling flood into ByuN's natural expansion. And again, he's going for, I think, a 3 racks behind this. I believe that's a reactor and the 3rd barracks finishing up in ByuN's main base. So he's going to have a lot of military production. Yeah. Stim pack is getting started.
No Hellions. It's going to be a weak defense.
Position to defend this all in from SHIN. It's only 22 drones.
So they're not getting too nitty-gritty with it, but getting into this all-in, getting into the Bane Bust here, SHIN is going all-in. Because ByuN is going for a late factory, that means he has no Hellions, no Widowmines, no tanks, he has no splash damage. He has purely Marines, and they're going to be Villain Marines. When SHIN hits, ByuN, he will not have Stim. Stim will not be done in time. It's going to be a difficult hold. It's going to be a very, very difficult defense here for ByuN. He's going to have to control well. He has no bunkers on the way because ByuN didn't scout. Look at the vision. He had no SCV scout. He had no Reaper scout. ByuN has no idea what's going on. Here comes the all-in, and ByuN, they pants it down.
The Lings are flooding. It is so many Zerglings.
Oh, the surround. He gets them.
Marines here on the ramp.
Yeah, and he's going to kill every.
Don't waste the Banelings with the SCVs. Don't waste them. Don't waste them.
The SCVs can evacuate.
Knocks down the front door.
Avenue over there.
He gets in.
The Lings are going to come in regardless. I think this
oh my God.
may be over.
Oh, SCVs, they cannot get in front of body block for these Marines, so a lot of the DPS being lost here for ByuN. More Marines are rallying out of the barracks.
Now with that shitty snowballs out of control, he breaks through the main army, critical economic damage, and behind this he's still flooding.
Lings trying to keep the gates open, trying to
he breaks
through.
Next
supply depot. It's going to be too much.
Hands off the keyboard.
GG, SHIN takes game 1.
Yeah, nicely done. You know, it was, first of all, ByuN completely not prepared for that. I feel like those kind of openings, by the way, they're going to be the strongest at like time periods like this for StarCraft 2, while things are still very fresh. But it looks like what ByuN was doing, like unless you're able to scout that early, you
can they piece it together?
You were saying command center first opening.
I think if ByuN had the wall in of the natural expansion, you know, obviously it's going to get taken out pretty quickly there by the Lings. It's unlikely, even if you go in for a faster wall into the natural, that every building will be done. So eventually the Lings and Banelings are going to take down, whether it's a supply depot or a bunker that's under construction, and then flood in. But critically, I think if ByuN had just a couple more seconds, that group of Marines at the ramp, they would not have gotten taken out. The SCVs could actually body block for them, and maybe ByuN is able to stabilize and play out the rest of the game, but instead just SHIN hitting right.
So when it comes to the game itself, a lot of it came down to ByuN's greed. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. A lot of it comes down to the greed. ByuN, so he had no SCV scout, he had no Reaper scout, so he had no forewarning. If he had vision and scouting, at least a little bit of the aggression that was coming his way, then we would have seen a bunker on the high ground, and the way that you defend against this is that you evacuate the natural. I think State was posing the idea of walling off the natural. No. Like that's way too many resources, that's way too much money to spend. Typically, you just evacuate the natural base, you pull your SCVs away, bunker on the high ground at the ramp, and you defend at your natural ramp. But remember, ByuN just had no idea what was going on, and it was almost like a build order win, because as we were trying to emphasize, ByuN also, he didn't just not scout, he also went for a late factory, so he had no splash damage, no Hellions, which can kite really well against Ling Bane. He had vanilla Marines, so really rough start there. SHIN, he gambas, he does gamble a little bit here, and he gambles well, and he does break ByuN. And now we're getting to game number 2.
We are going to have the startings of a wall in here on the low ground. I wouldn't be shocked if ByuN went for the double racks.
You shouldn't be shocked.
Low ground here.
It is a 2x opener.
Known for. Yeah, I mean, let's see what he's got here.
Have some confidence, Tasteless.
I don't know that what SHIN did in that last game was like premeditated, pre-planned. I think he might have just looked at that and went, oh, okay, well, I think I can just kill this with a Baneling bust.
I think SHIN probably has a couple of different responses up his sleeve to deal with the CC first opening. You know, it's such a popular build in the meta right now, and obviously, I mean, like the mineral cost of command centers, it's down 100 minerals. It's only 300. You're going to be seeing a lot of CC first play at this top level, and so SHIN, he was able to show like a Baneling bust in game number 1. Now we're not getting a CC first here in game number 2. But it's likely we'll see it later on in the series, and I wouldn't be surprised if SHIN also had some other kind of timing. Like,
so something really important, like State is trying to talk about openers and likelihood and the early game of the current meta. Something that we briefly mentioned, and it was kind of like assume that your mind would go here when we talk about it. On Fear and Faith, it is a 4-player spawn map. I'm talking about game 1. Because of the RNG nature, there's a very low chance, and because it's also a larger map as well, there's a low chance your opponent's going to be aggressive. So that's why ByuN didn't scout. That's why ByuN went CC first. It's because of the map, right? The map does dictate that it is safer to go CC first on Fear and Faith. It is unlucky that ByuN had close spawns, right? Like SHIN and ByuN had close spawns in game 1, which favors the aggressive player, and it favors the aggression, it favored the all-in, so it made it hit even harder. So State, he's posing the question like, oh, we're probably going to see CC first maybe at some point in the series. It's map dependent. It's map dependent. That's also why here there's no CC first, because it's Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. ByuN, speaking of aggression, does open up 2x Reaper. From here we can go into a 2-on-1 or even a 3x variation. We could be aggressive or greedy, so ByuN, will see what he does after this, but ByuN is going to be applying a lot of pressure early on here, and it is crucial that ByuN scouts what is done with the gas, because SHIN is still mining gas, and that is abnormal. SHIN has link speed on the way, still mining gas. That looks like either a Roach all in or a Bane bust.
Oh, we're barely going to survive here in the main base, but so good with the control.
And there it is, Roach all in.
Yeah, we've got a Roach Warren, by the way, coming down here. That's before the 3rd hatchery. So, you know, that's generally a nod towards some real aggression here. Is this just going to be like a really short series? It feels like it could be.
It's a nod towards aggression. It's a nod towards an all-in, Pappy. Now, very quickly here, ByuN did see the gas mining, which is abnormal. We pointed out ahead of time that it was looking like either a Bane Bust or a Roach all-in because we took note of the gases. ByuN also saw the gases as well, so ByuN should recognize something is weird. He is going for the factory follow-up, but ByuN has not confirmed yet.
Expansion. He might even get a scan off in the main base, but right now ByuN, he's showing a lot of respect to SHIN. He knows that Zergling's speed is going to be finishing up, so the Reapers are going home. ByuN has no idea that SHIN is going for this push, and it's multiple command centers for ByuN again. It's
he's going for a push, Pappy. He's only going to push him. Don't worry, it's fine. It's an all-in. Now, the reason why the all-in works really well in this position here is because of ByuN's opener. We spoke last game about the opener, how ByuN was being greedy and ByuN didn't scout. Here, it's similar. Because ByuN went for a 2x Reaper build and he went for a 2x Reaper opener, it means that if that natural is broken, it's no longer about evacuating the natural because all your production is in the natural. Your Raxes are at the natural base, so there's going to be more damage dealt here as the natural is broken, and there's no SimCity, there's no wall coming into the main base either because of the opener and because of the placement of the buildings. Top of that, ByuN went for the faster TC. Now, SHIN is droning behind this, so honestly, he could all in here. I would want him to commit to the all in. He's not link flooding. He's going to apply pressure. He is going to drone behind this.
In, the Bile's going to land on
But he will get Sim.
And the supply depot here. SCV's getting pulled for repair.
Oh, I think if he just gets one more Bile off here, he'll pop this.
Yeah, being able to buy a little bit of time. Will it be enough though? Banshee, it is halfway done. It kind of puts a time
now, SHIN needs to scout what's behind this. He will deny Stim, which is nice. And again, an all-in would snowball out of control, but...
no barracks production here for ByuN.
So why is he waiting with the Lings?
I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't want to show exactly how committed he was until now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the Lings, first of all, it takes a lot longer for the Banshee to do anything here. He could actually end up killing this command center.
I should lift. There we go.
I can't believe ByuN didn't lift that off earlier.
I think he tried to, but there was an SCV queued up, so it just didn't lift.
Did you give me Bile?
Okay, well,
no shot. The Biles! Can he kill? The Biles!
Only 90 HP.
Oh my god.
Oh man, the command center dodging Biles better than Hero does Void Rays. It's impressive.
That was crazy. Okay, so the CC
killed the random shade at Hero. What's Shear's not even playing today. Hero's not even playing today. What the hell?
Really well. I mean, he basically started drones before the rush even started.
The random
so
shade.
He knew exactly how much to invest to spike damage without overdoing out, without trying to do like a win more move, right? And so
Hero's out here catching strays in RSL.
Very healthy amount of drones. He started his lair. I'm sure a third hatchery is just around the corner here. And ByuN, you know, he got the Banshee out. He is getting another Banshee here. There's no cloak. Or if there was cloak, I missed it, but I don't think there was any cloak upgraded. And Stim starts again.
Yeah, Stim gets restarted here for ByuN.
So as the game is calming down here, ByuN isn't in a rough position here. I mean, it could be worse, right? He could be dead, right? ByuN could be dead. So thankfully, ByuN, he survives the aggression. He rebuilds or he resaturates on 2 bases. His CC did not get killed, and now SHIN is going into 2-base muta.
And it's going to be a lot of Mutalisks. I mean, the gas income here for SHIN, even on just 2 bases, it's still very high.
Okay, the Banshees are going to come up now and try to
I'll get rid
pop
of
this
the
hatchery. I don't know, can the Queens cover this in time, or can the Banshees kind of shimmy around to the side?
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think they can actually deny this.
Again?
Only 30 HP left. SHIN is going to restart that hatchery. Spire halfway done now. And
nice cancel.
With no cloak. And he's on limited time if he's going to stick around with these bands.
And again, SHIN did not do enough damage considering how hard he had invested in the early game. He's not done enough damage. ByuN is now taking a lead. He's now ahead economically. And he gets a full scout. Full scout.
In the main.
Yeah, he's just going to continue to try to do whatever damage he can. The Spire's close to finishing here.
And remember, ByuN, his opener was a 3rd CC before Starport as well. Like, ByuN went for a greedy build. So ByuN, he's skyrocketing ahead. Like, SHIN's in a really rough position here.
And, you know, they kind of get phased out.
These mutas have to do damage, but he got scouted. He got scouted.
Especially when his Spire's done. Terran's going to be moving out. Now, I don't know, in part because, you know, the patch changes. It's hard to kind of know where the tempo of the game should be here, but I'm curious to see how effective you can be with this. I guess this is about as safe as you can be as Terran with 2 medevacs here. You can basically pick up everything you have if it does get too dicey. But when enough Mutalisks are out, you can end up losing the medevacs. So ByuN's got to be very careful here. I think it's fair to say he is behind.
What?
Yeah, ByuN took a lot of damage.
ByuN is ahead in workers. He's ahead in bases. He has a 3rd TC. He has Stim. He's about to finish 1-1. He's head in upgrades. ByuN is he's in a phenomenal position. The one thing that SHIN has is mutas.
Starting to muster a pretty powerful force, but my worry is if SHIN has just a minute or 2 more time to build up at home, ByuN's window to get damage done will close, and I think these mutas are going to successfully buy a lot of time for SHIN.
Yeah, he can start to make threats over here on the map.
ByuN coming in for this round. From behind.
I mean, growth-wise, it's been a little bit
trying.
slower. You know, we're still waiting for that 4th base to come down here for Zerg. The mutas are going to come around.
You can see on the minimap he's shocking around.
Out any stims you can. here.
Doesn't
and,
catch him.
He's going to see that the army that was little squad that was kind of pressuring that third base has been drawn all the way.
But yeah,
back
just
here.
to put the game right now into context, SHIN is behind. He's down in upgrades, down in workers, down in economy, even on bases, which is the worst thing for Zerg.
With 1-1 done and combat shields finishing up for ByuN, this is a real power.
But again, the one thing that SHIN has is the mutas, and he needs to find economic damage with this. Like, he just killed the Reaper, that's nice, and he's forcing out turrets, but he needs to find some workers and keep ByuN busy.
But the mutas are doing such a good job of containing him. He must respect the threat, even though it's just, what, like 8 or 9 mutas.
Yeah, no, he's got to stay back here and basically chase this out. And Terran's finally going to get that third base up here.
Here comes the rain
We're also
push.
going to see the push come out. And I got to say, ByuN has got a pretty scary army here. This push could be enough to actually take SHIN on.
Armory finishing up. So 2-2 going to be started here for ByuN in the short term, but I honestly think that ByuN is trying to get a lot done with this initial push. SHIN, he's been able to drone up to full 3-base saturation right now at 68 drones. No 4th base just yet, so
nice
no
run by.
targets for ByuN to push into.
Does hit the third base, ByuN out of position. How many SCVs? He's ready.
A massive counterattack with Zerglings here at the third. Takes down the missile turret. That'll open up the avenue for some more harassment from these mutas later on in the game if it's not remade. And SHIN continuing to buy time, continuing to posture himself around this push in the center. And again, with no 4th hatchery for SHIN, there isn't an easy target for ByuN to push into.
Oh my god, the medevacs are kind of weirdly isolated from the rest.
So ByuN turns around. You could see the moment where he decided to turn around. That's the moment where he started 2-2. He started 2-2 as he unsieged.
I think the Marines can get most of them.
Banelings they roll in.
2 Banelings rolling into the third right now. The siege tank saving the day there at the third base. Only 1 SCV falling. And this is kind of an awkward dance that's happening right now. The 3-base powering of Terran, I think, is just stronger than 3 bases from Zerg. Typically, they need to have more expansions than
state he got there.
And so, ByuN just keeping this presence on the map, it kind of has SHIN locked up. But I must say, the muta count now building up to 15. SHIN's getting a lot of value out of these units.
He gets in! Oh my god.
On dealing with the mutas in the main. That's going to be a lot more SCVs falling.
ByuN inattentive. That shouldn't have happened.
SHIN is just so good right now. He's going to be able to get these Mutalisks out. The 4th base is denied. Kind of surprised. We actually saw
that's where the attention was.
Drone's actually alive, so he might be able to plant something down there later on. But the push might try to go a little bit further north, up into this oh so important third base.
This is so many lanes and streaming
he's not looking.
in this around. Going to try and
oh my god.
ByuN does a really good job of shimmying the Marines.
ByuN's going to lose everything here again. ByuN, he was inattentive. Massive Baneling connections.
Victory for SHIN south of that third base. I mean, that was a ridiculous number of lings.
Yeah, I don't think that ByuN was ready for what was coming. So now he's had 2 losses in the course of about a minute, right? I mean,
that was huge. That was a really, really big fight in favor of SHIN. ByuN, he had to build up. He had to build up his Marines, build up his tanks, and build up towards one big move out. He attacked with half his army. He only attacked with half his army. That was not good enough. And now, after ByuN lost that army, ByuN is stuck at home. ByuN has lost any pushing power.
I think the win condition for ByuN right now is to try and defend. If you're going to attack, it has to be a harassment-based attack. And try to max out, because then things are going to equalize. Once the supplies are maxed, once you both have, you know, a fully fleshed out army with upgrades, then ByuN will have chances. But right now he needs to survive. So he's building Thors defensively to try and zone away the mutas. He's getting drilling claws for his Widow Mines to add some much needed splash damage to deal with the lings. Keep in mind, Widow Mines, they fire a lot faster on this patch than they did on previous patches.
So what State is saying here is correct in the sense that now ByuN, his best condition to win this game is most likely just turtle. Just turtle up and max out. But what I would add to that is that this map, it is very difficult to turtle. It's a very small map and very open bases as well. There's a lot of avenues of attack. There's a lot of, especially the center of the map is very accessible as well. It is very difficult for ByuN, for players in general, to get a 4th and a 5th base on Ruby Rock if you're the defending player.
It seems like ByuN is high enough in supply that, you know, there's not going to be that kind of opportunity.
So SHIN should be able to freely max out. ByuN is pushing there.
And try to remax out.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because the setup for a really big economic boom for SHIN right now just isn't there. The 4th base is very late. It is done now, and SHIN is starting to gather from it. The 5th base also is very late.
ByuN is pushing.
SHIN can't comfortably get up to a super high drone count where he can go for that kind of long-term macro play. But ByuN actually just going to force the issue right now way before max. He's pushing up into the triangle.
Oh, the lings, get in!
SHIN, while SHIN goes for another counterattack. So many lings with +2 carapace and soon to be +2 melee attack coming into the main base right now. And when ByuN's attention is split, Shin will try to defuse this push at the center of his base, and honestly,
Yeah, that's critical damage. 20 SCVs going to be going down.
Natural. He lost 20 SCVs, but critically, the army at the front is still alive. The Widowmine's doing a great job of zoning away those Banelings.
Shin buying time.
And ByuN's army supply is huge. 127 to the 80 of Shin, and now the Banelings looking for the connections.
Oh, it wasn't quite synced up. The Mutas needed to get
the friendly fire.
The Banelings were going to head. I guess it doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
Chase this back. Medevac's full of Marines are going to come around.
Yeah, brutal friendly fire with that Shin who'll chase down the drops. He cleans up the army.
And this is going to be another huge loss here for ByuN. And I really do feel like the walls are starting to close in here for ByuN. I mean, he's not able to make any progress. We're seeing Shin reach into the top right and the bottom left.
Yeah, but I kind of like where ByuN is right now. Even though he took a lot of economic damage, his army supply
He has 36 SCVs.
Shin, his units are a little bit damaged. He lost a couple of them. And only just now
State, I know the mules are good. Okay, I understand. He doesn't like the Banelings. Let's go.
He takes down this base. The drones have to evacuate.
How many Banelings are there? That's what I want to know. How many Banelings do we have ready for Shin?
And ByuN with this last Hail Mary
6?
attack, SCV production has stopped. He's trying to push in and get damage done.
Okay, he's going to come down now.
ByuN turns around. ByuN, he turns back around. Shin is buying time.
I mean, I think being hit as your Banelings morphing is about the worst thing.
Basically, the way this works here is that ByuN is all in, and the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for ByuN. Which is why I'm surprised that ByuN turns around. Right, ByuN, he turns around, he races back home to defend. What I feel like ByuN needs to be as aggressive as possible right now to not allow Shin to recover. Because again, Shin has 74 drones. Like, we can't leave him alone.
Yeah, and ByuN actually brought the main army back home to try and deal with that defense. I think maybe the main issue is he just didn't have enough medevacs. You know, the bio had stimmed so much there on the front lines. Eventually, it ran out of HP, and that's part of the reason why ByuN probably brought this army back. But if he had just a couple more medevacs a minute or two ago, once he pushed in, once he got the kill on that expansion, I think the momentum really could have built up. But now we've had about a minute or two of quiet in this game where Shin is on nearly 80 drones. ByuN is sitting on just 4 bases. The main base is mined out. The natural expansion is starting to mine out.
No, we're lacking his position.
Really leverage this economic superiority.
So now Shin is able to embrace his higher drone count. He's getting up to 4, soon to be 5 bases. Oh, Mind Shield does not connect.
Shin basically locked in on layer tech, kept taking fights, and once I think he got comfortable, he's now pushed into Hive. But you know, ByuN, it's going to be a minute before I think he can attack out here again, and so I think this is the right idea to try to come in here and just get any damage. With
so Shin is maxed.
Scrambling, trying to defend wherever they can.
I'm still not entirely certain as to the Baneling count of Shin, but I would imagine that he's built himself up. I would imagine.
Get that concussive shell and everything else.
Yeah, ByuN only just now starting to add in some Marauders to this composition. I think he's got a pretty good read that Shin is likely going to try and go into Ultras from here, but honestly, even if Shin were to throw down the Ultra list then once that Hive is complete, he doesn't have the supply to actually go into it that quickly. So Marauders at the very least going to try and slow down the front line of Shin, maybe provide a little bit of tankiness there in case those Banelings try to connect with his Marines. But the real concern for me is that there haven't been a lot of skirmishes in the last couple of minutes, and despite that, we keep looking at ByuN's army and it is still low on HP. Or there is a real deficit of medevac healing right now for ByuN.
Both players are maxing out. ByuN is super max. True, he's got a massive amount of Marines.
47 SCVs. So it is absolutely.
So State is pointing out that like ByuN has a massive army and he has to end the game with this. No, he's not looking. Oh my god!
So much of it's going to come down this first push.
He's not looking.
What a opening volley by Shin. The Baneling deck.
Oh no!
Connections.
Yeah, he does finish that next wave of Banes here. The sheer
ByuN, we gotta lock in, Bappy. We can't just leave the army alone. Oof. That was it. Like, that was his timing. Like, ByuN, he maxed out, super maxed army, massive amount of Marines.
You know, he'll be able to fill that in as the fight goes on. Obviously, they take a lot.
Yeah, you can see ByuN shaking his head. Yeah.
But yeah,
it doesn't feel good.
He's not pushing out anymore. He's kind of backed up. I think he might be going for an inevitable kind of exhaust play, trying to secure his side of the map. And the counterattacks from Shin have just been great. Another one over here is going to drive these SCVs away.
Yeah, it's just, I'm not sure that ByuN really has this setup to try and go for an exhaust play from here. There still is no Ghost Academy. The SCV count, it's very low. And typically, if you're going for an exhaust play, a low SCV count can be a good thing. But that's assuming you have a lot of macro command centers set up. That is not the case here for ByuN. It's just the 4 orbital commands that he initially had at the start of the game. and he just hasn't really been able to find the damage. There have been several moments where ByuN pushes out like this and tries to get significant damage done, at least economically, to SHIN. He just hasn't able to get the big connections yet.
I think it's important to contextualize like what's been happening in this game. Like right now they're theorizing like, oh, like maybe ByuN's trying to turtle up. No, he doesn't want to. Like he's being forced to. Like ByuN's being forced into a longer game. He didn't want to be in this kind of game state. It doesn't feel good to be in this game state. There's a reason why ByuN keeps sighing on camera. Like it's a really rough position here because of the aggression failing, because of the main pushes struggling, and ByuN's been running as a team for quite some time.
Things are in dire straits. I think as ByuN, you have 148 army supply, you just have to send it. You have no chance of playing a macro game from here. You have to win the fight, but SHIN once more with just huge bailing hits.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing so much damage now to the natural. Now, I think
now,
SHIN can
SHIN only has 8 bailings, by the way. SHIN's bailing count is very, very low. So, but they're ultras. Never mind. Yeah, GG.
Great play-by-play. There we go. He's going to get not GG.
I mean, ByuN just ran out of steam right there.
Yeah.
Mapu was highlighting there were only 3 medevacs in those final moments there for ByuN.
Yeah.
It feels like there was such a deficit of medevacs really from the mid-game on. You know, ByuN did a pretty good job of keeping them alive early on, but once the Mutalisk count got high enough and there were just skirmishes all over the map, it feels like SHIN just kept that completely under control. So ByuN just seeing no path to victory there. Gonna fall 0-2 now, down to SHIN in this best of 5.
GG well played. State is focusing a lot on the medevac counts. I could be mistaken. It's SHIN was not hunting medevacs. Like, sure, a couple of medevacs did go down, but like that wasn't necessarily something that was being kept low. A big part of what we just saw, I would still say, just comes down to the main pushes, right? We saw ByuN, we did try to put a lot of emphasis on it when ByuN moved out on 3 bases, when he pushed across the map and he tried to hit the lower 3rd base of SHIN with half his army, right? If you remember, that's what we emphasized. We're like, he pushed out with half his army, he lost everything. That's when he lost 2 tanks. He lost 2 tanks, lost a massive amount of Marines, and his medevacs as well. He lost everything, and that was the moment where ByuN lost momentum. That was the moment where ByuN lost momentum. That's when SHIN gained control. Remember, ByuN had the better start. ByuN, he was up in workers, up in economy, up in upgrades, he was up in everything. But then he was pushing with only a portion of his army, which made it easier for SHIN to defend, as he was only engaging with only like a third of the army at a time, or half the army at a time, which allowed SHIN to like take these fights and to recover and to gain map control and to mass expand. ByuN, he tried to end the game a little bit earlier. He kept going for these pushes, but again, one too many times, he was not being attentive to his army. He wasn't being attentive to some really rough fights, and did kind of miss his opportunities. GG well played. So we're going to be going on a break. Looks like a 5-minute break here, and ByuN needs to take a moment, needs to take a breath, needs to calm down a little bit, you know, recenter, refocus, and we'll see if he can begin that comeback, because right now it's looking a little bit dire for ByuN, and personally I'm hoping for a series, right? I as a fan of StarCraft, I want to see a game 3, I want to see a game 4, I want to see more than just hyper aggression. We'll get into it. For now though, we'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 6 Playoffs Day 3 co-stream. We're currently mid-series. ByuN versus SHIN is ongoing. SHIN is up 2-0. He's up 2-0 in this best of 5, and so far it has been hyper-aggression in a sense from both players. Game 1, we had SHIN going for a Ling Bane bust. He went for a Ling Bane all-in. ByuN, if you recall, did go for a 3-rack setup into a late factory. No scouts. Got caught with his pants down. Got shut down. Game 2, we had SHIN going for what I thought was going to be a Roach all-in. He went for a Ling Roach Ravager push early on. I would say that ByuN came out ahead after defending against that aggression, but ByuN did lose that lead. He lost that lead. SHIN went into meter play. ByuN went for a push. He committed with half his army. He lost everything, and then ByuN was stuck at home. Then he was stuck at home. He missed his opportunity to move out. The game continued. We had a bit of a back and forth, but in the end, SHIN did claim it, and now we're loading to game number 3. Let's go.
I mean, that's the big question, right? We had game 1 with a full-on just shutdown from SHIN. ByuN, honestly, I think just with not a good build, but not a build that was either able to scout what was going to come his way or able to preempt. A lot of build orders, you're just sort of installing these preemptive measures so that you don't, if this comes, okay, I do this or that. But he didn't have that. Game 2 was a little bit more of a different story because Game 2 was actually a real, proper StarCraft fight, right? Back and forth. But, ByuN did
What's they gonna say?
Cover his weak ends, right? I mean, the counterattacks kept hitting in different sides and doing lots of damage. And, he was kind of getting pulled to the left and pulled to the right and wasn't able to accomplish much on the map. And by the end, I think he had like 35 SCVs, to the 80 drones. Zerg more than doubling the worker count here. And Zerg basically just having so much of the map, there's not a lot you can do.
It's so crazy to me that CC first versus Hatch first, the CC goes down first.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, it's nuts. It's going to take so long for me to get over this. But,
so pushing back here, I think Tasteless, you just said that ByuN's build in game 1 was bad. Not at all. Something that's important to bear in mind, maybe Tasteless is just unaware of this, but in StarCraft, it is a game of risk. It's a game of risk. It's a game of chances quite often when it comes to how greedy you want to be in a series and how you construct a series as well. Games that occur in a series impact others, like game 1 impacts game 2, impacts game 3. ByuN going for no scouts and cutting corners and being greedy on fear and faith is a risk, and it's a calculated risk, and it's very common on maps like that, which is why we saw things gamble in a rough way, because that was a 4-player spawn map, and no one knew, SHIN or ByuN knew, that they would spawn right next to each other. Remember, we had close spawns on Fear and Faith. So ByuN took a risk, he took a chance, and it was a really rough gamble because it meant that aggression was going to be favored and he was being greedy. So it was a calculated risk. In the end, it didn't pay off, but we often see those risks taken by players like ByuN, like Clem, like Maru, and they do work out. And when they work, you don't say, oh, they went for a bad build. Like, no, it's just the gamba, baby, the gamba. So it's important to bear in mind that there is, especially with the reintroduction of 4-player spawn maps, there is like an RNG factor coming into play, and even in 2-player small maps, there can be that as well when it comes to openers as well. Like build order wins are a thing. Like they very much so are a thing in StarCraft. Some people might not like that, and I don't necessarily like that, but they do exist.
Mid game for the Zerg. So we want to watch for that here as well, because a lot of games Zerg don't do that.
So it's important that if a player loses the game, that doesn't necessarily mean that they had a bad build. If they win a game, that doesn't mean that they had a good build. Like, there's other factors that influence the game itself. It's important to understand the context and the nuance behind a lot of these games and behind the play that we're seeing before us.
By the way, I just want to say, I love how finely tuned ByuN's build is. You notice just now he's adding the 3rd SCVs onto the refineries in the main base. That's because SCVs, the first 2 they mine.
Do you think that right now State is glazing ByuN's build because that's his way of pushing back against Tasteless calling ByuN's build bad earlier? So it's a way of him addressing that, but in a subtle way. Do you think?
Prioritizing the minerals in the early game to get the Hellions a little bit faster, to get the infrastructure set up a little bit faster.
Maybe.
He's trying to play basically the perfect setup here, and so far it's been undisrupted. So I'm really excited to see where ByuN's going to go with this.
Okay. Buildings are going to come down around the bottom here. Now, this is one of these games where
this is a 1-1-1.
the Zerg can get enough to attack before the wall-in is done. right? You know, we were talking about how in game 1 you could have had infrastructure down here. Well, he didn't get that this time.
Hellions kite back, but it gets surrounded.
He actually kind of gets a surround here.
The SCV's in a very
Nice
good
defense.
position, though. Wow.
Yeah,
Even
that
the
was
Marines
very nice
surviving.
defense.
Some really nice micro from ByuN. I thought way more than 3 SCVs would fall there. Four or 5 until, wait, are there more links? Oh, they're here in the natural expansion. Okay, 6 SCVs. That's a lot better damage here for SHIN, but still, great micro by ByuN.
I don't even know how he did that. That was crazy. That was almost like pixel.
Yeah, that was a little bit messy. As they were initially stating, ByuN had a really good defense initially. He kited back with his Hellions. He was able to shut down the Lings. This shows just how much easier it is to defend against Ling aggression and Ling floods with Hellion support, which we did not see in game 1. But after ByuN lost 3 extra SCVs at the very end to lose 6 in total, that is suddenly a little bit more worth it for SHIN.
It's going to be SHIN defending.
Hellions looking to find the damage right now. Queen's a little bit out of position. Ling's doing a very good job of zoning away those Hellions
the positioning.
So they can't dive into the main base. And man, okay, there's a little bit of a room there for ByuN to get past the Evolution Chamber and the Spore Crawler building of the natural expansion. So at least 2 Hellions will survive. I don't mind ByuN going for a dive like that one, but you're hoping to get a lot more than just 3 drones. So a bit of a painful loss here for Terran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with
it was 3 for 3. The issue with losing your Hellions here is that, oh my god, we're playing mech? That's a second factory. ByuN. No, he's been broken, Bobby. He's meching it up. He's crazy. If you remember, not the first time we've seen ByuN play mech. ByuN, he did play a lot of mech in 2024. If you remember, during the Cyclone era, before the Cyclone was fixed, all the turns were playing mech, right? Clem was playing mech against Zerg, Maru was playing mech, ByuN was playing mech as well. Seeing mech here is interesting.
Almost never.
That's not true.
Nor we have seen his infamous 2 Marine drop that we're seeing right over here. What is this? What am I even looking at? I mean, imagine there were 8 Marines in that. That would have killed the hatchery.
Yeah.
I want to say we last saw ByuN play mech maybe last week, but he was also like, I think it was in... Was it in Sparkling Tunica, ByuN versus SHIN Grand Finals like 2 weeks ago? But like it was one game as well.
It's kind of like, well, this has to be like...
But it's going to be battle mech.
You think ByuN like messed up and only put 2 Marines in there when he had more?
So weird. I was like, is there another bug where it's like there's a Widowmine in there, but it looks like it's 2 things instead of 1? Okay, so he's going to come forward here. He's got the Hellbats. He's pushing in.
No bailings.
It's a lot of Queens, though.
Ooh, the Spore there.
A couple of transfuses available here for SHIN.
Well, State, this is part 2 of the 2 Marine attack. I mean, the damage is just enough that then the Hellbats can kill the hatchery later on.
The Hellbats are nice, but the Banshees, 9 drone kills. This is getting out of hand, and the hatchery is killed. No cancel.
Is there even a Queen in the main base? Because, yeah, no, so much more damage
no
is being
Spore.
done.
Wow.
It almost feels like the purpose of the Hellbats was just to pull the Queens out of position. That's 14 drones that fell to the Banshees. That was a sick move.
Yeah,
he's not done.
Back. The 2 Marine play was it, man. He did a little bit of Timmy 2 Marines, I like to call it. He's going to come in here and surround this, and I think that's going to be it for the Hellbats. But
yeah, very inefficient trades here by SHIN. SHIN, all the Lings, they get toasted, they get roasted up. Banshees, they're still finding more damage. 22 kills by the Banshees.
It's not game ending, but it
Spores.
feels like it's game ending.
Nah, this is game ending.
27 drones. A third of SHIN's economy is gone. The Spires can take some damage. It eventually will be defended by these Queens. But also, there was like a 12 or 13 kill Hellbat down there. How many Zerglings actually fell to those Hellbats? They traded so cost effectively. 59 Lings for 9 Hellbats.
You know,
I mean, my goodness.
I used to joke about how a lot of times people would just go Hellbats and they would lose the game later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this time it works,
Yeah, this time I'm
though.
like, well, not in this round.
Well, it isn't just the economic damage or bases off center, but remember, ByuN, he also killed the expansion. Remember, he killed the 4th. He killed the 4th base, and he killed all those workers, and he traded well against the Lings. ByuN is very well set up here for the mid game, and he's building up, and he should maintain that momentum. Muta play will hit the field, but remember, ByuN scouted the mutas. He should be responding with his Cyclones.
You know, the muta's hatching here. Now, you know, one thing about mech is it takes a little bit more time to start up. It's not something that kind of flows immediately into activity in the game like you see with Marines and Medevacs. So, you know, that will give Zerg a little bit of time to recover. But, you know, a lot of times what happens is that you kill a lot of the Zerg's drones, and they end up remaking all those drones. And then when they're back into making their army, they just don't quite have enough.
Yeah, SHIN going up to 5 bases, but I wonder if he's going to push past 66 drones.
Like how State just ignores what Tasis just said.
But there's
Okay.
a lot of pressure on it because ByuN, he's going for Battle Mech, he's going for Hellions and Cyclones, which is a very mobile composition.
God damn it.
Especially with 1-1, and I believe Blue Flame is done as well. So SHIN has to show a lot of respect for this. Without Infestors, it is very difficult to actually kind of corral this army, especially with the creep spread being as dismal as it is, and that's not through any fault of SHIN, it's just because ByuN's map control has been through the roof up until this point.
Well, it's important that the creep spread has been stifled because of the aggression from ByuN, right? Aggression, like ByuN, he's been able to cripple the economy, he was able to get some queen kills, he's been keeping SHIN busy, so SHIN has very little presence on the map. Even the unit count is very low.
The real abuse comes with the kiting.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Gets the
once you try
queens.
to engage, they just
3.
shoot back.
3 queens go down.
No baneling speed, it's only about halfway
Hell,
done.
let's him off into the
It feels
mineral
like it's
line.
gonna be impossible for SHIN to get the connections that he needs to actually clean this up. I mean, we're going to see slow banelings try and come in. Maybe if the Lings can body block,
No
but no,
shot.
there isn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, the Cyclones can just be so abusive here. And that's going to be it.
GG.
SHIN taps out. ByuN going for mech, which is, by the way, just out of all the Terran players that I cast regularly, I think he goes for mech the least.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody who goes mech less than ByuN. I mean, this guy, he just loves making Marines, man.
Yeah, well, I
Like
mean,
Reapers and Marines. That's what ByuN wants to make in basically every single TVZ. If he watches TVZs, he wants to make Reapers and Marines.
Yeah.
He loves those units. He never goes mech. But really cool play by ByuN. Just kind of throwing a wrench into the works there for SHIN. SHIN certainly did not expect it to look like
I think I would agree with the statement that ByuN goes mech. Like, ByuN does play mech, but like less than like Maru, less than Ryung, less than Cure, less than Clem. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think factually correct statement.
so much better. Now, maybe that's because of the element of surprise. Maybe that's because ByuN is just not, or SHIN is just like, this isn't even on the radar for him, so he's not prepared for that. But he started the comeback.
Kind of. Like, bearing in mind that SHIN, he was not ready for anything. Like, it wasn't the initial Hellbats that did a lot of damage, it was the Banshees. Like, the Queens, they were all so preoccupied with the Hellbats that Banshees, they did critical damage. It was the Banshees themselves that killed, what was that, 27? 27 drones? Like, it was insane. Almost 30 workers went down early on. That was game-ending damage, and then ByuN could do whatever he wanted from there. He could make Hellions, Cyclones, go into tanks, go back into bio. Like, he could have done whatever he pleased. So a very, very strong early to mid game there from ByuN, and we'll see how our players do adjust coming into a 4-player spawn map.
Is on the menu here. We've got SHIN with the dark portrait here, showing some support for dark.
I can't wait until Dark comes back, man. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. You know, the older RTS games get sometimes it's so much nicer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there was
they
so
age
much
well.
fear about like, oh, is, you know, StarCraft 2 going to be around, or this guy's going to go to his military service. It's going to be in 2 years. It's like it's going to still be here, man. All the good RTS games are just still here. People just still play them.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird time, like 10 years ago or so, where there was so much dialogue in the community about there kind of being like a timeline for players where they will need to retire because they'll get too old or their hands will be too slow.
Well, this
and
was
all
the way
stuff.
back at StarCraft 1. People were doing.
Oh, did it go
this.
back then? But everyone, I feel
you
like
know where
everyone
it
was so
started?
young in StarCraft 1.
I know, but they didn't think they were. That's what's so weird about it. There was an interview with Slayer's Boxer on Korean TV, and this was like, dude, this was like 2002 or 3 or something like that, and he was like, I'm too old. My hands are too slow. And he was like 20 or like 19. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I kind of understand it because I feel like every single pro gamer wants to be more fast, you know? And sometimes if you get to a certain level, like a player like Boxer, your mind might actually just be faster than your hands.
Well, I think also he was known for doing these drops. And these kind of like little tactical moves, and then there was like this whole generation of people that just started like
Grab her red rush.
mass expanding.
So when it comes to the openers, as they're going into brutal story time, when it comes to the openers here, SHIN went hatch pool. He went for a late gas. He went for late gases. Because his gas is so late, he's skipping link speed. He's going straight into roach production. Meanwhile, ByuN went CC first.
It's obvious that your roaches, but he's just going to be like a ton.
ByuN is going for the same opener he went for in game 1. Why is that? Remember what we said about Fear and Faith? 4-player spawn map. It's a larger map. RNG comes into play, and ByuN is cutting corners because he wants to be greedy, because he wants to roll that dice, which means no SCV scout, no Reaper scout, CC first, greed, hyper greed out of ByuN. And once again, just like game 1, we have close spawns. Like, it's such a shame. Like twice in this very series, ByuN goes for the same gamble, he goes for the same risk, and he gets punished both times.
Where they say that you actually do start to go down.
I have no idea.
Is it over 50? I actually don't know.
They're still talking about getting old and APM and stuff.
That have said, because that's a better measurement, right? Because that's been around.
But here comes Shin. He's going across map. ByuN, thankfully, I believe ByuN is going for a factory before the CC. Remember last game he was going for a 3-rank setup, so he had no factory whatsoever. But the Hellions will not help here against the Roach Ravager. Oh boy.
He's actually looking at look up chest stats on the computer.
Shin is running. He's doing it again. Shin is not all in. I once again, just like in game number 2, I would have wanted Shin to have committed into an all in here.
He's still mining out of both gases fully, by the way. Like, how many Ravagers will this actually be? Because it's Hellions and Marines here for ByuN. He's
referring to Ruby Rock, if you remember.
He has 3 in the other gas. 3 Ravagers, 2 Roaches. All right, what can Shin get done with this? There's no bunker here for ByuN.
Of course not.
ByuN's gonna get supply block this.
Like, if Shin was just link flooding from here, Shin just wins. Like, but again, Shin is droning, so this is gonna give ByuN maybe an opportunity to recover if this doesn't kill him.
Be pretty bad. Nothing that's gonna be spawning for.
God, we're just going for the racks. Jesus.
Necessarily that.
Again, we just came with the production. The boys, they're coming with us around.
Droning behind this.
Oh, this is huge damage. I mean, the
That's around.
The Ravagers is huge.
You know, I gotta
by
say,
these SCVs.
That was quite bad by Shin there.
Yeah, wow.
He needed to basically know.
Yeah, very nice around.
That felt like it was so good for Shin. It was about to end the game, and then ByuN got the perfect surround. And at the end of the day, it's only 20. It's only 4 SCVs down. He's still at 29.
Yeah. He should have just been like not even really doing stuff back at home. Like if his screen even left that. You know, so much. I think this is all one of the issues that happens, like with the mythology of APM, is people kind of they have this
still
idea
talking
that
about APM. So when it comes to the game itself, Shin had the potential to end the game, but remember, he was not link flooding; he was droning instead. So it is bad that Shin just got surrounded and he got his Roach Ravager cleaned up in the way that it did. That is true. Like, ByuN now can make a game out of this. At the same time, because Shin was droning so quickly, like, Shin can build up into a game as well, and now the game is going to slow down, and we're just going to macro up. I'm just going to macro from here.
It's the most ludicrous thing. Like, nobody does this.
Got the clear Banshees, though.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying, but then you see a moment like that, you're like, okay, well, your screen should have been here and nowhere else.
But the thing is, like, Club would actually do it properly. I think everybody's always wants to play, like, the perfect idealized version of themselves, and sometimes it works.
I felt
but
like
sometimes there might be moments like that where your Ravagers get surrounded by SCVs.
Yeah. I feel like I became
you
a better
really regret
player.
it.
I became a better player when I just realized, like, what is actually going to win the game right now? Like, what do I need to actually, okay, like, what are the win conditions? Do I have room? Do I have the space inside the game to go back and do this or not?
I always found that for me, one thing that worked a lot on the ladder, I'm not sure if it's just a mental thing or if it actually changed the way that I play, but I remember when I was struggling on the ladder at times, which nowadays is pretty much every single day, but I went into matches with a philosophy of, let me just try not to lose to something stupid. Like, I'm not going to focus on winning, like, let me just not lose, and good things are going to happen.
Well, I remember just, like, you know, when I was much younger, like, playing, and just I was trying to do like a million things at once, and I'm actually.
So the big thing that I'm going to be looking for here, as they discuss, the big thing I'm going to be looking for here is that one, ByuN is going for a 3rd CC, so ByuN is building up to a greater economy. Did go into double Banshee into Cloak. ByuN is going to be harassing, and we'll see what ByuN can get done. I believe Spores are finishing. Not just that, but I'm very curious about this Roach speed timing. Shin, he's banking up Roaches in between his bases. He's getting his 3rd base. Is Shin just going to drone and macro, or does he go for a 2-base all-in? He's droning. So Shin is droning. We're just going to build up into a longer game.
Absolutely playable. Does he have? Oh, he does have an Overseer. It's right here in position, in fact. Spot for these Banshees, but ByuN already in game number.
Nice damage. 6 drones.
A ton of damage done with these. I think it was like 20+ drones in total when he paired
Could
with the
hear the Eve in the
Hellbats, and he's off
background.
to a great start
No
here.
Spore. No shot.
7 or 8 drones going to fall. One Banshee will go down, but I think this is really a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, that
ByuN.
was really nicely done. Almost 10 drones there, just as a Spore Crawler finishes. So, you know. And he's going to just chuck his 3rd CC out here.
Behind this, that's 9 drone kills for 1 Banshee. That is very solid. That's very, very solid here. So ByuN, he does have a really strong mid-game, or coming into the mid-game. Behind this, getting his own 3rd base. SHIN throws down the infestation bit. SHIN is going to drone, saturate, and get into Infestors and Roach Ravager. Into Hive Tech. So SHIN is going to play a macro game.
A lot of the Legacy of the Void games, like we kind of said, okay, this is where the 4th base is. Almost always Zerg gets it up, but occasionally, you know, a player does come in there and break that down. But, you know, with the drone change and the change in the way the economy functions. Now,
because SHIN is slowing down and because we're building up to a more macro game, ByuN is in a better position, just straight up. He has a lot more momentum. He has a much more comfortable army as well. You can see SHIN trying to get link speed and +1 melee. Like, SHIN is mid-transition.
Coming on a little bit, but also in Temple, it's kind of hard to take a 4th hatchery. You have to either mine out the minerals or take down the rocks on the south side, or expand towards your Terran opponent, which no Zerg wants to do in spawns like this one. So SHIN will be mining this out, but he is posturing for a push. It's 1-1 Marines with combat shields about to finish up. Wouldn't mind get sniped there by the Biles. And I love how ByuN, after he stopped that initial push, he's like, you know what? Where is SHIN going to expand to next? It's probably going to be here on the south side. Let me just park this low HP Banshee here and not let him mine out the minerals.
Dude, that's a great usage of that Banshee. I really like that. A lot of times the Banshee doesn't have a whole lot of functionality after it does its initial sweep, but I think that's a great place to put that. And, you know, sure, the Zerg can expand to other places, but now it's easier to try to control those spaces. A lot of StarCraft games are just won because, like, it's just kind of hard to get, like, a 5th or 6th base up because there's too many things going on.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 units just stopping a worker from starting something can ripple in effect. It's like a butterfly effect thing. It can hit everything.
I think what's important here is that because of ByuN's Banshee, SHIN is forced to expand towards ByuN, and that is a very exposed 4th base. ByuN, his ability to push and his ability to deny that 4th base is going to be quite high. It's going to be a tough hold for SHIN. SHIN needs a lot of time to get into Ultras. A lot of time.
And for here right now, for ByuN, it seems like in this series, it's mostly about keeping SHIN's 4th base under control. He's been doing a very good job of just not letting SHIN push past 66 drones of saturation. And now as SHIN opens himself up, going for a 4th base, Ben actually going to push right on here into the main. 1-1 combat shields all done right now.
Ooh, massive fungal.
Too, but,
ooh,
that fungal pretty good.
Second
connection.
fungal.
Will slow things down.
Oof.
Are those medevacs actually able to get out? Another fungal connecting. There isn't a lot of anti-air.
It's like Biles just going in random locations.
Oh my god, 3 of these medevacs on basically no HP, but at the very least, SHIN, he just cleaned up all those Marines, and now Ultras have begun.
Yeah. Yeah, Ultra Tech starting up here. That really does.
So again, the pressure is still on ByuN. He needs to do more damage here before Ultras hit the field. Once they arrive, it's going to be difficult for the heavy Marine army to really break through.
And control obviously good enough to make.
Remember, the soup is lying to you. SHIN has inflated supply because of the Roach Ravager. Like, this Roach Ravager is not quite dead supply, but it's hurting SHIN more than helping, as he has to get rid of it to free up more supply.
Marauders to the mix. Yeah, I feel like these Ultra styles are especially potent versus ByuN because he is so Marine heavy. I'm concerned about what the Marauder count is going to be when he maxes out because Marine's still being produced quite heavily. Widowmine's also being added in. There might not be enough in terms of firepower to deal with this initial round of Ultras. 1+2 Carapace is done. Keep in mind those Carapace upgrades cheaper now for Zergs. His Ultra armor is done. You pair that up in, say, a choke point, the Microbial Shroud, and it could be a very dangerous position for ByuN.
ByuN's still very in control of that. Where'd that Banshee go, by the way?
I think it might have gotten cleaned up at some point.
Yeah, I thought I saw it flying away. I was like,
yeah,
singing, I love this Banshee here, and it just like leaves. Okay, so there's no way to take 12. Nice Biles down here. Again, he needs to get like some good fungals to prevent this from retreating.
I'm gonna ask Microbial Shrouds. Ultras are moving in. It's Master Marine to defend. Here comes a fungal. He wants to. Oh, goes for the Microbial Shroud.
Coming through. That's it. The Infestors are out of energy. So ByuN wants these Ultras to try and move out of this zone.
And their fungals.
See how much
the
sustain
Ultras.
there is on those Ultras.
It's crazy how much armor they've got. We have an attackman here from the bottom, actually.
Yeah, and SHIN does critical damage. He does critical damage. He breaks the 3rd expansion, cripples the economy here, and the Ultras might be killed, but he has killed the SCVs. 41 SCV kills.
Out the other side.
Oh, look how low HP this bio is. I think one of those Infestors very close to having 75 energy for a fungal.
Ooh.
A fungal could literally have killed a lot of those Marines, I think, but SHIN just barely missing the energy threshold. Be able to go for that spell casting. He's going to charge in once more.
Does
not
back in.
Want to give ByuN time to
He
heal
wants
back
hugs,
up.
Pappy. Oh my god.
Okay, Okay, he has taken so much damage now.
Yeah, Lings, they just wreak havoc in the natural base. Another 21 SCV kills on top of the earlier damage as well. And now ByuN is down to 25 workers. He has no economy. He has no economy. ByuN, he has no sustainability here in this game. SHIN is already remaxed.
Pretty tight 4-base powering play and kind of went toe-to-toe with the Terran. And Terran was not able to really contest that. You know, one of the challenges when you have a player that plays tight like SHIN did is you don't have a lot of places to push. Right, the Zerg isn't actually that spread out.
That's a relatively low economy with 66 drones, just 3 bases. The 4th hatchery there is just so you can start saturating once the main and the natural start mining out, and you get some extra larvae too. It was really more of like a high-tech timing push coming in from SHIN. As crazy as it sounds with him being on max, I mean everything lined up. The armor upgrades, my proverbial shroud, the infestors being near max energy. It was a perfect alignment here for SHIN, and ByuN is going to try and get some damage done.
I mean, kind of. Like, this is where the map did help SHIN more than ByuN. I mean, kind of. So, winding it back here, SHIN, his ultra timing was really strong. It was even stronger because of the spawns. I mean, you can see, right? The forward 4th base of SHIN is on the same screen. It's on the same screen as the 4th base of ByuN. We're right next to each other, so there was very little time for ByuN to engage ahead of time, to kite the army, to slow it down, to counterattack as well. In general, aggression, one way or the other, is favored on this map, and it can be so difficult to be the defending player, which is why it was not easy for SHIN to build up into Hive. Like, it was still a very shaky process to do so. The Banshees were popping off, but he got there. He did get to Hive Tech, he did get into the Ultras.
Could just attack in again. I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not just going to go in right now. Maybe he just wants to play a very clean, careful end game. Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, for now, SHIN playing a little bit safe. Seems like he has built up enough, especially in this Baneling count. That is a lot of Banelings and Ultras streaming in right now. Still no high-tech units, no ghosts here for ByuN. It's just Marauders and Marines and 7 Widowmines trying to defend.
Ooh, he gets in.
The Banelings get connections. In the 3rd base, even more SCVs fall. I mean, 8 SCVs at 14 minutes, it might not feel that consequential, but when you're already down below 40 SCVs, it is huge. And I feel like we're just watching SHIN slowly win a war of attrition where he just doesn't want to overextend. He knows that he has ByuN on the ropes. He knows ByuN is down to 3 bases and very low SCVs. Just play it safe. Just keep slowly chipping away like this. SHIN pushes in once more. This is a great angle,
the
great fight
he lands.
for ByuN, but I think SHIN's army is just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean, this game's over. You know, again, it's kind of a funny series. ByuN, the one game he wins with Mech, and then anything that he's kind of, you know, a star for doing.
GG gets called, and SHIN, he'll claim the series 3-1. GG.
SHIN dominates. ByuN's out of RSL.
Yeah, kind of surprising to have ByuN eliminated, first player eliminated here in the playoffs, but I must say, SHIN looked so good in that series, it kind of blew my mind. You know, I was expecting ByuN to be able to get away with a lot more aggression off the back of like a CC first, where your economy, you know, it kicks in a high gear a lot faster. You're able to leverage that into, say, timing pushes on 2 or 3 CCs. That's kind of where my headspace was at coming into the series today. But SHIN just totally flipped what the roles were going to be in my head. You know, he was aggressive, like super aggressive in 3 out of the 4 games.
He was never able to get almost anything done. It looked like he was starting to get, you know.
So it sounds like Tasteless and State maybe aren't too familiar with SHIN as a player, but SHIN, he's known for being very aggressive. He's known for mixing up the early game as well. I think a better thing to contextualize, as we try to emphasize throughout the series, and it's important to, you know, construct your narrative when you're covering a series and covering a matchup between these two players, is State, he's like, you know, I expected ByuN to be greedy and I expected him to have a stronger setup because of that. I mean, he tried. Remember, ByuN, he was going CC first on what? On 4-player small maps. And every time he did that, he got punished for it. Every single time. On Fear and Faith and on the Old Sun Temple as well. And again, it also didn't help that RNG was in SHIN's favor, right? In both 4-player spawn maps, when ByuN wants cross-spawn, he doesn't get it. He does not get cross-spawn at all. So he gambles a lot, no scouting, no vision, no Reaper, of course, CC first into a greedier follow-up, and both on the Old Sun Temple and on Fear of Faith, he gets punished for it. I would say the punish was less impactful here on the Old Sun Temple because of SHIN getting surrounded and SHIN blundering the assault by getting surrounded by the SCVs. But remember, SHIN was droning, which is what we were trying to emphasize, is that yes, he got surrounded. Yes, he got his Ravagers cleaned up. That is rough. but it's not that bad if he wasn't all in to begin with. If he was droning up behind it, then he takes a lead, then he gets some momentum, and he builds up into his own Roach play in the mid-game instead. But GG all played. With that, congratulations. SHIN, he will claim the series 3-1. ByuN is out of the RSL, and we're going to be jumping into our next series. It's going to be a ZVZ. We're going to be going on a break here. When we come back, we'll have Solar versus Lambo up next in a best of 5. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go to a ZVZ. Lambo versus Solar.
And we're back, and we are back. We are back with the RSL. The RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 6, day number 3 co-stream. We just wrapped up with ByuN versus SHIN. SHIN takes down ByuN 3-1 to advance on to the next round. Up next, we have a ZVZ between Solar and Lambo. Oh boy, so we're going to be getting to a mirror matchup here. Expect hyper aggression, expect shorter games, shorter than what we've already seen, of course, and I'm curious to see how our dynamic unfolds. Lambo has some very good ZVZ. I love his builds, I love his decision making. A lot of that does come into play here. You can be very strategic when it comes to ZVZ. Solo, we expect him to be hyper aggressive, but I'm curious to see how Lambo has studied Solar, and now he's coming in prepared for Solar's games, because Solar can be very he can be very, I don't want to say predictable, but like he has a certain style to him. Has a certain style. He loves his early Eva Chamber +1 carapace all-ins. He likes to be 2-base play as well, 2-base heavy. So we'll see. We'll see how these two do compare to each other. So jumping into game 1, loading into Ruby Rock.
Solar in the bottom right, Lambo in the top left.
Lambo the red Zerg, Solar the blue Zerg. How aggressive are they gonna be?
And if you're in the chats, before I forget, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. In my mind, this is going to be a closer one. Like, in my mind, this can go either way. Like, I respect Lambo's ZVZ that much. I respect it that much to the point where I do think that Solar's the faster player. I do think he's the more aggressive player. I do think that Solar's going to be at times dictating the pace of the game. But I do think that Lambo's like strategic play can make up for his otherwise lack of speed at times. But we'll see. We'll see if that holds true. We'll see how he compares to Solar. Let's go.
They've been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Well, it's always exciting to see, you know, what kind of new builds we have here. Yeah, you're right though. ZVZ for a while was like this deep macro, like just develop, balloon out, inevitable crazy late game, which is good too.
What?
Yeah, we've got the extractors running here for Solar, and the pool is going to go down right now.
Gas pool here for Solar. I will say that I love macro games in StarCraft 2, but I think my least favorite macro games are mirror matchup macro games. I don't know why. It just they're always less engaging to me, unless it's like TBT.
Well,
TBT is pretty dynamic in terms of like
they're not asymmetric. Usually,
yeah,
right? So macro games. Now, yeah, the thing about TBT is I think there's this moment.
So while they talk about mirror matchups, we're getting into our ZVZ here. Solar does go gas first. He does go gas pool into a delayed expansion. So what does this mean? This means that Solar can go for Ling Flood, he can go for a Bane Bust, he can go for a Roach Rush. Solar's going to be the aggressor. Lambo does go hatch first on the flip side of things. So we'll see how aggressive, we'll see how hard Solar commits. On the same thing, along those same lines, I also want to say that when it comes to ZVZ being ultra late game, which they just spoke about, the last time that was the case was like in the Gressman map pool. It's been years. It's been years since that's been the case. So ZVZ has been hyper aggressive for a very, very long time. But here we go. We are getting into our game. And again, I want to see where Solar spends his gas. So far, Ling speed and Solar, he is still in gas.
Really just the brilliant player that he is. It'll be fun to see what kind of builds they're going for.
Keeps doing.
Already we have Solar. For a moment, he only had 2 drones on that gas. He's back onto 3, despite speed being started. So it kind of looks to me like it's going to be Ling Bailey aggression out of him.
Looks like Ling Bane. Bane it up.
Yeah,
Shoot the gas. There it is.
There's the Baneling Nest starting here now.
So again, hyper aggression out of Solar. What's important is that Lambo saw the late expansion. Lambo did not see the gas timing. So Lambo, he knows that it's at least an early pull. He knows that it might be an early gas, but he's not 100% certain. And he doesn't know how committed this is.
Pretty far across the map before you even start to morph them.
So Lambo's playing blind.
And we're seeing them come out in these pairs over here.
He needs the scouts.
And it looks like, yeah, he's going to have 2 on either side here. And basically decide where he's going to try to hide these. Did he see the drone?
He did.
Now, I think you want that to just start. You want the
He's going to hide the Banelings.
On this path
He's hiding.
towards economy.
Here they come, 2 Banes.
Interrupt that violently. Oh.
He finds him.
Nice scout there by Lambo. Good move. He
yeah, very good reaction.
Very good idea what's happening, especially now that he sees the
he saw Lings coming.
Solar's natural expansion. What's concerning, though, is that Lambo, he doesn't have a lot of gas right now. There's no Baneling Nest just yet. He has to rely on Lings and Spine Crawlers. I think even if he started a Baneling Nest right now, it wouldn't be done in time.
So Queen's on hold position at the ramp. We evacuate the natural. Spine Crawlers behind the mineral line. Good reaction so far by Lambo.
Now they're going to push here into the natural.
Oh, he wasted them.
Oh,
no, the A-move.
Not like that,
what
Solar.
Solar.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
The Rock does it again. You can see Solar shake his head.
The worst thing that could have happened here. He should be letting the dog play.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the dog was in his lap, at least he would have an excuse. Like, oh, I let the dog micro this. The dog really seemed like it wanted to play. Oh, that was the worst.
I can't believe.
So for those who remember, Solar does have a nickname in Korean. The Koreans, they say that it's very often that Solar, his brain turns into a rock and he just doesn't, he just, he just apes it up, and he's living up to his name.
Lucky break right there, able to save the natural expansion.
Solar, por favor.
Now able to go into a safety bailing nest. And it looked like Solar was postured to get quite a bit of damage done here at the natural. I'm not sure exactly how much it was.
As the aggression subsides, Solar's in a rough position. You can see Solar making 10 more lings. It looks like Solar, he's gonna respond with another wave?
Okay,
question mark?
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
He just made more lings.
Yeah. And it's the end of, the entire plan that Solar basically started this best of 5 out with. And so I guess he must have just accidentally clicked on that, or,
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's funny. It's so easy to do.
Yeah.
But you just don't see it.
If you know anything about StarCraft, and if you've played StarCraft as Zerg before, you would know that Solar did not click on the eggs. He A-moved. When you A-move your Bailings forward, they will aggro on morphing in eggs. Like, you have to be able to micro them, otherwise it will detonate on those eggs or larvae. So you just A-moved.
Pretty good trades overall for our blue Zerg player trying to defend this third hatchery, but Lambo has a lot more lings streaming across the map.
Well, Lambo, he's hidden at the third base, and he will.
It's feeling like it's going to be another cancel. Those are 20 lings are not yet done for Solar.
Base of the Bailing.
So low on HP.
Does bypass the army.
Looking for connections on the queens too. Ooh, that Bailing got so close to getting that pack of lings.
Nice snipe. Did Lambo overextend?
Yeah, a little bit messy there by Lambo. He could have denied the expansion, but he didn't. He did overextend, pushing into the natural.
Bailing for the time being. Where are the Banes morphing?
Right here in the front.
Right here in the middle. Oh, that's good for branding. Right over the RSL logo. Now, how prepared is Solar going to be for this? Right now, Lambo has more workers.
Oh, better trade for Lambo.
No. Solar was hoping to take out both of those Banelings instead, only getting one.
Banelings are bad units. That's my takeaway in this game.
This game has made them look very bad.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, Solar able to survive with his third hatchery. I really thought Lambo might be able to take it down.
I mean,
he was able to like, what, 50% HP or so, but hatchery will survive. And Solar, he's posturing with some pretty aggressive roaches right now in the center, but it is a drone follow-up to this.
Yeah, behind this, Solar's faking out. He's faking a response. He's forcing out all these roaches. Solar behind this is droning to recover in this game. It was just a fake-out push, and now Lambo has realized that, and he will check the third. He wants it. He should not get it.
Easy targets for Lambo to try and pick off. And there's this intricate dance of units, fighting units and drones, fighting units and drones on both of them. I keep waiting for one of them to kind of pull the trigger and just full send it, either with roaches or with lings, banelings, or something like that, but both players have been doing a very good job just kind of...
well, so far, this was a nice move out of Solar. Again, he faked a push, he forced a reaction, and Lambo, he was forced to make all these roaches, and he hasn't really done anything with it. So Solar's in a better position as he's recovering in this game. Like, Solar's still catching up. He's catching up.
And Solar's going to continue.
True, faster upgrade.
Out more and more roaches here. On the other side of the map, we've got the layer more than halfway done for Lambo.
Solar's not droning.
Both sides.
Solar has no layer. Solar's going for an all-in. 2 base all-in. 2.5 base all-in.
Although we are finally getting Ravagers.
It's all or nothing for Solar.
Here for Solar.
I'm sorry, Solar doesn't have a layer, does he?
They just noticed.
Just 3 hatchback? So it kind of feels like he's going to be pushing. Yeah, no layer here in the main base.
So yeah, no, he's definitely going to be pushing. He's basically waiting for armor to get done. And so we can see Lambo's going to try to go to that next level of tech. And basically, Solar's hoping to punish that.
It feels like it's a very late timing for a hatch-based timing attack, and it's pretty high.
Why do we keep
49? But I think that might play to Solar's advantage. It's going to be so unexpected.
God, Solar, he is just going to hit that timing attack like crazy. It's. I wish there was another word for that.
A huge boon versus
crazy,
the Zerglings here of Lambo.
What do we say? It's time.
And Solar almost has full saturation here on the third base. I think
Let's go.
Might have thought that Solar's trying to play a macro.
Lambo did overdrone.
They're already here at the third.
Yeah, he's going to be hitting really hard here. He's got a couple more Ravagers that are going to be morphing. And the Biles can basically come down here and really interrupt this. The angling, though, is quite good for Lambo.
Yeah, Link's gonna be in the buffer. They need to get in though.
Pretty good arc right now. That +1 Carapace doing such good work for Solar. More Biles raining down, adding a lot of DPS.
It gets into the main.
Link's run by gets into the main base. A lot of drones falling. The mineral income heavily disrupted right now for Lambo, down to 1,800 minerals versus the 2,200 per minute for Solar, which means Solar's going to be reinforcing with even more army at a faster pace. This third base is in disarray with a delayed 3-hatch timing attack. Solar able to pull it back from the brink. And I mean, what a recovery after going for a Ling bailing attack at the start of the game and ending the first two.
And right-clicking on an egg.
The hatchery. Yeah. I mean, I saw that and I kind of thought, okay, well, this has to be a huge...
GG well played. Again, Soli, he went for a big 2.5 base all in. It was a 2.5 base all in, no lair, no follow-up, no other tech. Did hit with +1 carapace, of course, and Lambo was droning. Lambo was droning, he was saturating. Lambo, he believed that we were building up into a longer game. He saw the third base, but he did not scout the main. He did not realize just how low tech Solar had. And with that, the all-in Snowball's out of control. Snowball's out of control, but there was also layers to this as well. Solar, he came in from behind. He got the Lings in the main base, distracting Lambo as well. Which also allowed for a better fight for Solar, landing those Biles, engaging with the main army, and GG. GG well played. With that, we do have Solar claiming a lead in the series, and we'll see. We'll see if we can keep this going. We'll see if Lambo can recover. I will say that Lambo had the better early to mid game. It is a shame that Lambo failed to kill the third. Like, he had the option to. He had the option to, and he chose to try to go further and try to get some economic damage done. He did decide to abandon the third and try to get more damage. When he failed to do so, that's when Lambo was a little bit rough, and that was kind of like one of the first steps that Solar had to recovering in that game, to building up to an economy. And let's go. We're getting to our next game, getting into game number 2.
Went for some really, early aggressive play in that game number 1. Gas pull into hatchery. Fast ling speed, fast banelings, but just wasn't able to really convert that.
Fantastic commentary, very basic. Not much actual insight or talking about certain actions could mean.
Get some more early damage done here in game number 2.
Sure, but that's what Tasis is supposed to be for. Like, Tasis is supposed to be there to help, like, supplement some of that. I've said this before. Like, Tasis, he's a really smart guy. He's a really smart guy. And I appreciate both of their casting, both Tasis and State. I think State. I think he'd agree with me here. I think State's biggest weakness is that he doesn't watch a lot of StarCraft. It reminds me of GSL. It reminds me of when State was casting GSL on a regular basis. It was known that he would watch a lot of VODs on his way to GSL to prep for the GSL commentary. I think he'd get a lot of praise for it, but that's because he doesn't watch it in his free time. Like, he has to take time out of his day to watch a bunch of games to be aware of the current meta and what currently is going on. I believe that now he isn't doing that. I believe that preparation isn't necessarily there. So if State is not casting something, then he's not aware of what's happening in other tournaments, like in KSL, What is TV Monday, just the meta in general. And because that, he's kind of lacking that. He's lacking that data, right? He's lacking, but if he has it, like, he knows it. That's the thing with State. Like, if something happens in a match of RSL that he's casting, he will remember that. He'll remember that, and it will tie things together, and he'll be able to, like, weave together, like, what the meta currently is and certain expectations and players' play styles as well. But if he's lacking that information, then that isn't quite there for State. That's something that I found to be quite apparent. Which makes sense because State has a full-time job. Like, I should also emphasize, like, as opposed to, like, some of the other online community casters, like State, he has a separate full-time job. Like, he doesn't dedicate everything to StarCraft like I don't know, like Tasis or like ourselves or like Wardy or like Rotterdam or something like that. So it's a little bit different, but that's the reason for that, right?
He's playing. It's an Ewok.
I believe State is a lecturer or a teacher. I believe he's a teacher.
Type thing, but that's a different looking instrument. It's got like 3 little.
It's playing on a Halo player's helmet.
Oh, it's a Marine. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Marine head.
Wait, is it like 3? Is that 3 Marine helmets all together? He's just banging on those things?
No, it's just one big one, I think. Could be a Marauder helmet.
There's the shoulder pad. I mean, Blizzard characters always have those gigantic shoulder pads, like in Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2.
That is the thing
They're
with
so
Blizzard
oversized.
art,
It's such a stylistic thing. Yeah, maybe those are shoulder pads and not more helmets.
Where they like try to put like the body inside Tychus's suit, like where it would fit, and it's just like, oh no, like it's not structurally, like the bones would be all messed up.
It's like seeing an extra.
Because the rant, I missed the opener.
It's a little skeleton on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lambo rushing to +1 carapace before Ling speed.
Okay, so
Or is this post-Ling
quick
speed?
armor for Lambo here on 2 bases. Now this is super fast armor, like basically armor before anything. This is armor before Ling speed.
Yeah, this is
for
cool.
Lambo. So he's going to be hitting.
He's going for a Ling flood.
I kind of like all the added variants that we've got in ZVZ in terms of carapace
So
timing.
because we begin carapace first, I believe carapace will finish up at the same time as Ling speed, so it allows for a heavy aggressive timing here for Lambo. I'm assuming it's going to be an all-in. He's still mining gas, so he can go for a Bane Bust. He can coincide this with a Bane Bust, or he can go for a Ling Roach all-in, which does coincide with carapace. There it is, Roaches. So it is going to be a Ling Roach all-in.
So Lambo going to, in some ways, a lot of the same ideas.
He's going for the Solar.
Game ended. That he lost. Oh my god, that was a crazy block.
Yeah, that was perfect there for Lambo. Lambo's powering up on 2 bases right now, not going to be going for the 3rd hatchery because his Ling speed is so late he knows he can't defend it.
Right, okay, so
he's going for a 2-base all-in.
Just Roaches. This is where you flood with Lings, and then you have like a kind of set of Roaches in front of it.
This is so cool. Lambo's walling with double evolution chambers in the front, so Solar should have no idea there's a 3rd Evo in the main base.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the idea is like that, in some sense, that's wasteful. So he's like, oh, look at me, I just started my upgrades. I hope my upgrades work in minutes from now. Not.
Oh, this is so cool. Lambo also, I don't think he wants to spend all of the money on the evolution chamber, so he cancels it and starts.
Behind this, Solar's still joining. He's still taking. Solar, he's not making anything. He has nothing to make. Here he comes.
Oh, this
he knows.
is awesome. No Roaches. It's going to be mass +1 Ling. Flooding in, and Solar, I don't think he has a Baneling nest. If he does,
yeah, there's no Roaches behind this.
Right now, it's going to be Ling
what?
versus Ling, with Lambo having a huge upgrade advantage. No wall off for Solar just yet. The Queen from the 3rd base can't get to the natural in time.
Let's get a Queen.
Yeah, he's going to
get 2.
He's going to hit so hard here. The question now is, can Solar actually hold this? He does have a little bit of the wall in kind of helping him, but it's not enough.
Lambo should break through. Yeah, we go. He does get the 3rd Queen.
The drones are pulled.
The boys are being pulled.
Yeah, Lambo with a little bit of a check on the greed of Solar. Roaches are going to pop in right now. Ooh, some nice hold position micro right there on the drones. It de-aggroes the Lings from them, so Solar only dropping 5 workers. Oh, I thought that might be a little bit more damage there for Lambo, but Solar, kind of reminiscent of the first series we saw with ByuN versus SHIN. Just really good worker micro, mitigating damage, this time from this.
Really impressive defense there by Lambo.
Solar,
I'm surprised that, sorry, by Solar. I'm surprised that Solar didn't, sorry, that Lambo, I keep mixing up the names. I'm surprised that Lambo didn't go for a Roach Ling all in. It was just purely a Ling flood, so there wasn't really any backbone behind it. Lambo wasn't really, he didn't have his heart in it. He went for the Ling flood, then he droned behind it. He droned, he saturated, he's getting his 4th base. Lambo's trying to macro instead, whereas Solar is not, by the way.
Is there going to be any opportunities here for Solar to try to fight back?
Like Solar, he's going for his own Roach Ling all in. He's committed. Lambo, he needs time to recover. 7 Roaches on the way.
It's likely going to be a push coming in from Solar, so Spine Crawler is going down as well. I don't think +1 range attack will be done at the beginning of the fight, but it should finish before the fighting is over.
Yeah, he's going to hit, basically when the Roaches get there, he wants to start this thing up.
Will there be enough Roaches here for Lambo? Upgrades are even right now.
The 3rd base is really exposed right now. He's got to make sure that these Roaches don't ever get fully surrounded.
It kind of feels like Lambo has enough to take this fight, although more amateurs are reinforcing.
When they're bunched up like that, you really have to respect the biles. So now he's going to be forced behind the wall in. He's going to start to try to damage the Roach Warren because
Lings they can't quite engage. Does catch a couple of Roaches.
He can make his Lings, which aren't going to be very handy. The biles are really punishing. This is already below half health. The Lings actually jump up to the top.
Oh, he comes in. He gets us around. He gets him. He locks him down. He locks him down. Biles that will connect. Massive connection.
So punishing. Is he going to be able to take this Warren out before the upgrade finishes? It looks like it's going to just barely finish.
Yeah, it's going to finish, but the next Biles will take out the Roach Warren. There was no safety Roach Warren, I think, built by Lambo, so he has to restart it right now. That's going to be a huge gap in production. Lambo can only make Lings right now.
And there's enough Roaches and Ravagers here that you're going to be pretty strong versus Lings. And you're always going to have your Lings in the front. So what you see is what you've got as far as Roach tech that has been produced and will stay in the game right now for Lambo. Lambo is going to try to fight back. The Lings are going to come down. Again,
Lambo does have the better economy. He's up in workers.
Pops one of those Ravagers and takes out another one that was morphine.
Yeah, that Roach speed giving a lot of flexibility for Lambo right now with a micro. He can
this has been good damage from Solar, but Solar's very all in. Solar needs more than this.
Kind of lets the Ling wall fade. And so Lambo's going to be able to hold, despite losing the Roach Warren. He was able to reinforce with enough Lings and have some nice Roach micro. to defend it. Solar, he's droning back at home. He's starting a lair of his own. The hatch tech all-in has failed. And Lambo is up still about 10 workers. A round of drones just finished there for Solar to try and even things up.
Stayed. For the first time today, he called an all-in, Babby. Let's go. He got there.
He's gonna come down now. Good to see Lambo kind of stabilizing and surviving that. It looked like it was nearly over.
But it shows how dedicated Solar was, right? Lambo, he did sustain a lot of losses. He sustained a lot of damage. Like, things are looking a little bit dire, but Lambo, he still survived with a higher drone count. Again, so he got away with his greed, he's got away with his tech. Lair is done. We're +2 range on the way now for Lambo, so getting better upgrades. Roach speed is already done as well. Solar's in trouble.
Basically able to get back on his feet in a little bit more of an even way here.
Yeah, and it's going to be 2-2 Roaches here for Lambo versus just the +1, or the 1-1, I should say, of Solar in a couple of minutes. So Lambo has a lot of different ways he could play this, you know? Like, you're in a position like this one where I know now the drone counts, they're kind of equalizing. I still prefer Lambo's position so much. He can go for some kind of Roach timing attack if he wanted to. He can try and transpose this into a longer macro game if he wanted to. When you have a huge upgrade advantage like this, it just feels like the options are all open.
I think he's got a better runway in this game for sure. It is funny how back and forth these guys' games are, right?
Yeah, these first 2 games have been excellent. ZVZ kind of knew it was going to be a good series.
Someone's doing his timing attack again.
True. Being a master of ZVZ, and Lambo is really hitting his stride in these recent patches. But so far, these first 2 games exceeding my expectations, with the lone exception of the 2 banelings popping on the eggs in game 1.
Right. So I think for now, Solar has to. Lambo has to stay back and basically let these upgrades finish.
They're about to finish.
Right? He's going to have a lot of opportunities from there to take that.
Lambo's going to have a very strong 2-2 timing available. Now, I'm hoping that Lambo makes use of that timing. I think my one criticism of this series so far is that Lambo, at times when he's being aggressive, he's not like fully committing the way that he should, right? Very often Lambo's droning behind it. And his heart isn't necessarily in it. So I'm hoping that changes here. We have 50 more Roaches on the way. Lambo, he should commit. And he does have the better upgrades. He will have the better army.
I was telegraphing that I'm going to be basically taking all of those Overlords and using them to fill up my supply with attacking units. I don't want to ever have my spike in unit production decline because of supply.
Yeah, so Lambo nearly maxed out right now. About 8 supply ahead of Solar. He's going to be pushing in. And again, these 2-2 Roaches, there are no melee upgrades on either side. So really the units to watch out for right now, it's the Roach versus the Roach. The Lings are going to do very little. And the Ravager count, it's higher for Solar, shots. But the numbers of Roaches here for Lambo, it is overwhelming.
Now remember, Solar does have the defender's advantage. He can try to maybe take a better concave here. Does get some extra shots. True. Better concave for Solar.
The problem is these upgrades are just simply better.
Never mind.
Okay, Lambo's really got like
Lambo, he overwhelms. He starts us forward. Better shots for Lambo.
Once this starts to fall apart on either the top or the bottom, and he can start to arc around it, here we go. Now it's going to get real ugly. Not even dodging Biles.
Yeah, again, it's just an awkward engage out of Solar. He's just all choked up.
Moving forward to snipe down the Ravagers, but I feel like with reinforcements streaming across here for Lambo, it should be enough. Solar for now stabilizing. Still 57 drones to 48, so Solar does have the economic edge.
Yeah,
but that was a good fight for Lambo.
It was good. I think he got the first couple blows in. The question is Solar going to be squishy enough to fall apart here? Now the angle again, it's really good.
It should just be a numbers game at this point. Yeah, Ravagers are exposed.
Isolating the Ravagers here of Solar. I think Lambo has just...
Better concave, breaks through the main army, pushing in towards the mineral line. Queen's getting caught out as well, hands off the keyboard. GG.
Lambo's tied it up 1-1. And that was an impressive defense from Solar with just 1-1 versus the 2-2 there of Lambo. It looked a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But those reinforcements coming in from Lambo, despite having less economy, I mean, he just pumped out so many Roaches.
Yeah. Yeah, nicely done. I mean, you know, it's that defender's
GG, well played. Again, Lambo, he was able to survive the initial all-in from Solar. Remember, it was very back and forth. I didn't really like Lambo's choice of going for +1 carapace into a Ling Flood, but like droning behind it, not really committing. I would say that Solar had the better follow-up after that. Then he went into his own all-in off of Hatch Tech, and we saw that even though Solar did a lot of damage, it wasn't enough to do anything crippling. It wasn't enough to kill or to end the game. Lambo survived, got away with his tech, and Lambo with that was able to fight back, bounce back, make use of that lair, hit with 2-2. GG. GG well played. With that, Lambo does tie things up, and we are going to game number 3. Looks like we're going to be come to a break. Looks like we're come to a break here before that third game. It's still very back and forth. As I mentioned coming into this, I would say that this series is and should be closer than the last one. It's hard to say who will come out on top here between Solo and Lambo. We'll see who it's going to be. See you in chat. I go Lambo is commentating, has good understanding. He does. I do think Lambo has some really good insight whenever he casts. Mainly whenever he casts Zerg players, but that's usually whenever he does cast. I do appreciate it. Whenever he's on. I think he's a really good analyst. Very, very good. But we are going to be coming to a short break, and we'll see you soon for game number 3. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 6, Day number 3 playoffs. We're here in the final series of the broadcast. We're currently tied at 1-1 between Solar and Lambo. So far, it's been an intense back and forth, and we expect that intensity to continue. Up next, we're going to be loading into the Old Sun Temple, followed by Necropolis and Exarch if we get to the ace match. Personally, I'd love to see a Game 5 here, but the pressure is on our players. We'll see who will take a lead in the series. Oh boy, he's catching up in the chat. I like member, both great at commentating, and also both Zerg, that starts with L. Clearly there's a connection. Yeah, Lorimbo too, Pappy. Kappa. Unironically, I do love Lorimbo. He's very different whenever he casts. He's very he's a massive meme. But we love him. We love him. Lorimbo. We need more Lorimbo in our lives. In the All Things Protoss Team League. Yeah, so we need it.
Let's see if we have any other kind of crazy build.
For now, though, we're getting into game number 3. Loading in. Ooh, 10 pool.
I think this is what we were seeing at Home Story Cup quite a bit.
Yeah, I think you're correct about that.
Where the goal of this is to try and take down a hatch first from the opponent, or at least a ton of drones. And it might not be a game-ending play if you move across the map with these lings and get damage done, but oftentimes, as we saw at the Home Story Cup against a hatch first, you can get enough damage done that the player going for the 10 pull is going to pull ahead economically and can usually leverage that into a win.
So what's important, I mentioned this earlier, like State did watch Home Story Cup, so that's why he's making reference to it. This is a build that was very prevalent pre-Home Story Cup, very much so far before Home Story Cup occurred, and even posted as well. It is very deadly, bearing in mind this is not all-in. There are some all-in variations of 10 pool, but typically 10 pool doesn't mean all-in. It is very aggressive. It's kind of like the new modern version of a 12 pool, where a 12 pool is a macro build. The goal is to kill drones. I believe you want to kill at least 4. At least 4 workers, that'll break even. If you can get more than 4 workers, then you can get ahead. So that's what we're looking for. From the side of Lambo, it all comes down to his reaction. He has to make use of his hatchery when it comes to buying time and it taking hits. He does go hatch, pool gas, late gas out of Lambo. Safer build by our Zerg player. And he has to pull the boys, and he has to micro well with his workers. Cannot lose too many drones. It all comes down to unit control for Lambo.
The first
question
for both
is, players.
Do you keep the hatchery or do you cancel it, right?
You keep it. You don't cancel.
You know, the earlier the rush, the more you can sometimes just give stuff up.
Just touching on what was just said, you need to save that hatchery.
Right,
save it.
6-worker lead. So he's going to attack up here. There's nothing. Okay, he is
here we
going to
go.
pull drones, which indicates he does want to keep the hatchery. He's not interested in sacking that. Your control with the drones has to be basically perfect.
Now these drones going to be trying to no.
If you miscontrol and drop too many workers, it's totally catastrophic.
Lambo, his drones are split.
Fractions off some of his lings to go into the main and basically be a
doesn't get a drone.
Now, anytime the drones aren't...
Yo, Lambo's micro is crazy. Right? Saves it. No, he's gonna lose it.
A little kill on that one and runs away.
Oof.
Yeah, nice snipe there for Solar.
No, he's gonna lose 2.
Just now finishing for Lambo. These drones already very low in HP. It's gonna make it harder for them to defend.
What do we say?
So
4 drones.
3 drones falling here for Lambo. It's not too bad.
Can he get 4?
Does he have enough links to defend? I think with a queen pumping, he should. Those drones have to get back to mining in a minute. But so far, pretty good defense here for Lambo.
Yeah.
Only losing 3 drones.
Yeah. Lambo, he holds. He has a faster expansion. The queens are out, and Lambo has the higher drone count. Lambo takes a lead.
Remember, Lambo is at 17 drones, and Solar's catching up to 14 now. Now, there was obviously periods where the drones weren't mining, right? So it wasn't like he was just accumulating. Yeah,
it was a bit of a messy defense out of Lambo, but he defends well enough. Only losing 3 workers. These are acceptable losses for Lambo. Lambo now has an economic advantage.
Trying to catch up. I would
you can see Lambo's up by 1, or up by like 2.
Swapping who's rushing who here. But yeah, I think Lambo did a great job there. I think he's in perfectly okay shape.
Yeah, only losing 3 drones. I think sometimes when you see players defend a 10 pool, they might pull less drones, or they'll pull them later, or they'll go for a fight.
Yeah.
So Lambo, he might have lost a little bit extra mining time with how many drones he pulled, and for such a duration that they weren't mining. But in the end, keeping those 3 drones alive.
Now, typically, because of Solar's 10 pool, Solar should be going for 2-base Roach. I'm getting ahead of myself. Should be playing 2-base. It could be 2-base Roach. It could be 2-base Muta. It could be a 2-base Link Flood. Link speed has begun for Solar. Interesting. And Solar's goal is to punish the 3rd base. It is very greedy for Lambo to get a 3rd, considering that Lambo has no Link speed himself. Lambo has limited gas. Has no gas, actually. So, hybrid greed out of Lambo, Solar can punish, as Lambo still has no gas.
Are you
sorry,
trying
one.
to match them? or are you trying to go in a direction that's going to benefit you that's very, very different, like whether that's like teching somewhere crazy or you know, trying to do some kind of a timed attack and stop making workers. Now we have the Evo chamber coming along here for Solar.
So here comes a Link Flood, as you mentioned.
So I assume he's just
Solar's goes to punish Lambo.
This will probably lead into a timing attack, but we don't have a third hatchery for Solar. There are 12 Lings.
Yeah, Solar has made just enough drones to fully saturate the main base and the natural, and then one extra drone, I think, to build a hatchery at the Triangle expansion. And since then, it's been nothing but Lings. Once Speed is finished, he's likely going to reveal that he made these Lings and try and get the kill on the third hatch from Lambo. And it'll be imperative that Lambo defends it, because at that point, the hatchery will be done. And losing a hatchery that's completed is obviously a lot more damaging than actually having to cancel a hatchery. So Lambo, he's now committed with the hatchery finished. It's not Solar moving across the map.
And this is going to, this is all lined up so that there was no way to cancel it. It's sometimes a risky way to play, because if your move doesn't get pulled off, then you're going to lose the game. He's not going to go for the hatchery. I'm sorry.
He's not going for the third?
I was on the same page as you.
Yeah.
I thought that this was going to be
I mean, he should get both at least. Gonna get the Roach Warren.
Go for the Roach Warren. Now he will get the deny on the Roach Warren.
You know, maybe.
Okay. So he gets both.
And then come down here and get the hatchery.
Yeah, maybe just the order of operations is to go for the natural and see what you can find there first, because in a position like this one, he's always going to get the third hatchery.
We're all assuming he was going to get the third, and he does, but he gets it and the Roach Warren as well.
Force a couple more buildings behind this.
Forcing out of the cancel.
Basically more drone kills.
He's going in.
The Lings just keep on coming in.
Oh my
They're
god.
trying to shimmy their way through these Roaches and the Queens. They actually get a surround right there
Wow.
on the Roaches. Solar with his Lings getting huge damage done. Lambo has to pull the drones. He's mineral walking to try and get better surface area. Really good worker, Micro. I think maybe one drone falling there for Lambo. But when all is said and done, I mean, Solar trades like 40 Zerglings, but he gets the third base, he gets a drone, he gets Roaches, he gets Queens, he gets structures. It's a huge win for Solar.
That was a really, really well done maneuver by Solar there. He basically realized, okay,
But yeah, Solar, he takes a lead. He takes a lead. What's really important here is that if Solar didn't kill that Roach Warren, Lambo would have counterattacked. He would have counterattacked with a heavy Roach count with a very robust army. But because the Roach Warren was killed, this delays Lambo's counterattack. It means that Lambo, he's stuck at home. He's getting 1-1 upgrades. He's getting a Bailey Nest. Lambo is still going to be aggressive, but the aggression has been delayed, and Solar is able to take advantage of the now stronger economy and higher base count. So this is looking better defensively for Solar, assuming he doesn't overdrone.
And for Solar, the fact that he has 2 base saturation and then some mining from the third base at 44 drones, I think you do nothing but make Roaches and Lings from here. You don't even really worry about getting too many more upgrades. I think you just kind of brace for impact, expecting Lambo to try and push and get something done. And if that push doesn't come, then you as Solar go for a push of your own. I think it would be a fantastic way to play it. We'll see if Solar is going to actually commit to an attack once he spots this third base at a finish. Because this will be the opportune time. You know, Lambo, he lost that first hatchery. He's now remade it. That's 600 minerals that has, so far, literally 0 payoff. This is the maximum deficit from that third hatchery, is this window right now before Lambo can actually mine from it. So it's a great timing to try and get damage done here as Solar if he decides to push across the map.
Okay.
So here he comes. So Lambo, he's all in. Lambo's all in. But again, Lambo has a smaller army. He does have better upgrades. He has 1-1 as opposed to the 1-0 of Solar, but it's +1 melee, not +1 range. If Lambo can land some Banelings well enough on the Lings, and maybe he can break through. Solar thankfully didn't drone. So the reality is that he did not drone. So Solar, he counterattacks. He does hit the base. The Lings do come in. But GG.
He sees the army of Solar. He's like, I guess I didn't fool you.
Yeah. Nicely done. Beautiful game.
Yeah, I mean, that was very well played by Solar, and I love how Solar just kept everything so simple too. You know, he goes for the Ling, flood. He gets the cancel. He gets the Queen. He gets a Roach Warren. It's some pretty good damage. And then a lot of other players, they might have gotten fancy with that. They might have tried to like go for a really fast follow-up push and overcommit. They might have been a little bit greedy going in on the drones, or maybe taking up as like a Spire or something. And Solar looks at it, he's like, you know, I'm on 3 bases. I have like 4 or 5 extra drones mining from the third base, so I know I have mathematically more money than Lambo's going to have. Why don't I just non-stop make units? Lambo cannot make more than me. And eventually, if he doesn't attack me, I'll attack him.
They're focusing a lot on what Solar did. I would put a little bit less emphasis on that and more onus on Lambo. Remember, Lambo, he had a really good defense. He had a really good defense initially against the 10 pool. Lambo came out ahead, But what happened? What happened after that? We try to emphasize. Solar got into a faster gas geyser, got into faster link speed, and went for a faster link flood. What did Lambo do? Despite going for later gases, he took a risk. He took a gamble. Lambo, typically in that position, you do not get a third. He went for it. He went for a third base, so Lambo was being greedy. I think they might have kind of like missed that whole dynamic, but Lambo was cutting corners. He was being greedy after his defense, and he got punished for that greed. You do not get a third base if you're going to be getting link speed that late, because there's no way to defend the third base, and he couldn't fight for it. He could not defend his third base, so he was punished for cutting that corner, and then Solar just snowballed from there. So Lambo being greedy after the strong, again, the defense was solid when it comes to the 10-pool defense, but did cut corners afterwards and was punished for it. And now we're loading into game number 4
of the tournament. You know, when you're in the losers bracket, you've got a long road ahead to get out, and you know, it's all, I think, about taking it one best of 5 at a time, trying to bring out everything that you've got against your opponent. I want to remind everybody as well, the Season 6 Finals is going to be on stage at BlizzCon. BlizzCon is going to be the biggest stage for StarCraft 2 of the year.
It is.
Right?
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I hopefully 2027 there are more big stages where StarCraft is on. I hope we're back in EWC. I hope we continue to have a lot of live events, but right now for these guys, that's super important to try to go and play on that stage in front of so many StarCraft 2 fans.
It's going to be huge. And I'm just really excited to have StarCraft 2 at BlizzCon again, especially on a big stage like that one with you and
So Lambo's going for a pool first. Solo's going hatch first instead. We just kind of spoke about this dynamic, but typically when a Zerg player does go for an early pool timing, it means that they're going for a late gas, and typically that means that we're going to be going to 2-base heavy play. Now, last game, despite that 2-base, what should have been a 2-base opener, Lambo did try to rush into a third. He got punished for it. Here, he should be staying on 2 bases, and because we're loading into Necropolis, this map does favor 2-base play because of the ramp coming into the natural. So it's very, very safe on 2 expansions.
That's what everybody wants. So
yeah,
that would not be possible without the support from viewers like you on Patreon. So thank you for making this dream possible.
Yeah. So in this game, I mean, every time it's some kind of, you know, it's one of these two guys trying to come in here and really do some damage early on.
Yes. It's been some pretty aggressive play early on. And honestly,
Lambo went pool first, but it was a safe pool first. He's not being aggressive.
Like it's going to be the most passive early game we've gotten so far in this series, although.
Yeah, double. Oh, never mind. Not double gas. That's the extractor tree.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I was like, whoa, cool. 2 gases right away.
We're expecting maybe like 2-base layer out of Lambo.
They do seem to be very evenly matched. A lot of mind games going on early on.
Yeah, it's 2-1 in Solar's advantage right now, but Lambo could have easily, or not easily, I guess it's underselling it, but Lambo has had a fighting chance in basically all of these games. And I'm happy that we've got a really good back and forth ZBZ like this one, because in the upper bracket quarterfinals, Rogue won, I believe, 3-0 over Lambo. And you saw those games like, well, you know Lambo is much better than this. You know he can deliver a much better ZBZ.
Yeah.
And I know he only has one map
plays going
right
to
now,
link
but
speed.
even in his losses, Lambo
Who stays
really
in?
good. So I'm happy he had this showing.
Also, I feel like, you know, Rogue, even though, you know, there was periods where Rogue is like, he wins this world championship.
Lambo, does he have 2 or 3 in
world
gas?
championship, but he's not quite in that form that he was in before. But, you know, when it comes to mirror matchups, I feel like someone like Rogue is just going to be top.
I'm waiting to pan over to the
the
main
best in
base.
the whole world. The mirror matchups never seem to fall off.
Pan over.
Rogue has been crazy on this.
Shows the main.
He's just one of those players.
Solo claiming his third.
Who's just so brainy and so.
There it is,
figuring
Bailey
out
Nest.
Things at the beginning of a new meta.
I believe. Okay.
He's just
So remember we spoke about how Lambo should have been going for a later gas, and he did go for a later gas geyser, but he goes into link speed, and we see why. That's why I kept saying I want to see the main base of Lambo. I want to pan over. He's going for a Bane Bust. So Lambo's going for a Bane Bust. This is meant to catch Solo off guard. Basically, what's happening here is that Lambo is showing 2-base play, which means low link speed. Solar scouts that. Solar believes he's safe to drone, when really he's anything but. So Lambo's going for a fake out essentially, and he's gonna ideally catch Solar by surprise with Ling Bane.
That Solar's going to be receiving this from.
It's a delayed hatchery here for Lambo. And
Here
lanes are
comes.
getting revealed right now. Solar, that third hatch, it's not done just yet.
Again, here comes that Bane Bust. Lambo's coming. Solar, he has no Banelings to defend. He shouldn't.
So there will not be Banelings in time to deal with this huge flood of Zerglings coming out from Lambo. And Solar, he even spots the Banelings morphing in. I would be surprised if he allowed this hatch to finish.
Can he get in?
Let's see. Can Solar make the defense happen?
Lambo, he will at least get the third, and he's droning. He's droning behind this, so Lambo, he's transitioning.
Of course, this hatchery, it's going to be
Pick
very
up the
difficult
mains
to defend. And it might not be worth it to try to defend it at all, right? I mean, it may make more sense. In fact, maybe Solar actually overextends.
He gets a third.
By a little bit of time. I think there's no way this hatchery can be recovered. You know, like I was saying before, sometimes it's better to actually just give it up.
Looking at this, though, I think...
But remember, Lambo's joining.
By Solar, that he has to allow the hatchery to complete just to give Lambo a target that isn't the natural expansion.
Yeah,
because if Lambo pushed up into the natural, I think he might have just been able to end the game. It would have been very close. Lambo obviously couldn't possibly know that Solar did not yet have.
I mean, there was SimCity for Solar, so
and so
I don't know
just
about
kind
that.
of hangs that carrot off the stick, and it's like, hey, come for this hatchery, get the hatchery kill, so I can continue to play the game, and I'm not knocked out just yet. I think that's the logic here for Solar, but. I mean, still, Lambo in a very good position, getting the kill on the
I feel like that's a bit of a
His
stretch
third
for
base is
sure.
now done. And the fighting is continuing in front of Solar's natural expansion.
Okay, the counterattack is going to be damaging this hatch. Now, this should be defendable. But the question is, can he actually...
Okay, so from here, Lambo is switching to Roach production. I believe Solar should be doing the same thing as well. As the dust settles, Lambo, he has been able to join up into a higher count, but he's making a lot of Roaches. Ooh, Solar didn't have a Roach Warren. He's in trouble. So I just assumed that he had a Roach Warren behind this, but no, it only just now begins. A very late Warren here from Solar.
Basically identical between the two.
Ay, ay, ay.
And now the game is quieting down a little bit. It's Lambo who's up a couple of drones.
No, Lambo's committing.
Of army over Solar.
Like they're alluding to the idea of the game slowing down. No. We're not slowing down.
This could be Lambo posturing defensively after getting the kill on Solar's third base.
Yeah, Lambo's not turning.
An attack. By the way, really good bailing connections there by Solar. Lambo perhaps not expecting that.
Lambo's all in.
Wow. Solar's going to go for a
Solar
dive
gets in.
Main. There is an attack over at 6 o'clock as well on that.
Nice harass.
These Lings are actually doing quite a bit. There's no.
And this is buying a lot of time. It's catching queens, no injections.
Get a ton of these drones.
Forces everything back home.
Oh, the bottleneck here at the natural expansion, though.
7
Solar cannot
drones?
escape with these Lings, and once these Lings get cleaned up, that's going to be a huge army deficit. Solar was able to get a lot of damage, and oh my goodness, the Lings actually do get out. The third hatchery also taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah. And remember, Lambo, he hasn't droned in like 2 minutes. It's been like 2 minutes since Lambo's droned, and because of that, Lambo, he was going for an all-in. Solar, he bought time. His Roach one finished.
The third hatch, he is running circles around Lambo.
Yeah. Beautifully done. And Lambo is, I mean, he is spiraling right now.
He's late.
Like he's almost completely underwater. He's going to come back here with a big counterattack.
This all-in is very late. It's very late. It's very delayed here. Solar bought so much time. He goes for another counterattack. Ay, ay, ay.
Almost immediately.
And a Lings get back into the main base of Lambo right now. The Queen is going to fall again. Injects will be few and far between right now. Lambo has no Queens back at home, and Solar has enough Roaches to defend. Even Solar takes his hand off the keyboard right now. Yeah. GG is called.
You saw Lambo like roll his eyes and shake his head. He's like, no, this is not happening.
Oh, I mean, that had to be a frustrating moment there for Lambo. The early game went so well for him, but in the end, you know, just being out of position in one moment, Solar with that Ling Flood just ran circles. And whenever you play Roaches like that, especially before Roach speed is done, I mean, the Speedlings, they get into the main base, into the natural expansion, it's chaos.
Well done. I mean, Solar outplayed Lambo there. The games were fun. The games are very different.
Yeah.
GG, well played. I would say that Lambo, more often than not, had better early game. Actually, Lambo, he had better early game, better early to mid game as well. Even this game, for example, Lambo was ahead. He was setting up for the all-in, but Solar, despite being in a rough position, got that counterattack, right? He was able to get his Lings into the third base, into the natural, get us around on the Queens. As we were trying to emphasize that entire time, Lambo was getting ready for an all-in, and he was so late. He was so delayed because he had to race all the way back home. He lost his Queens, which means no injections, which means less reinforcements across the map. The all-in was shut down, and by the time Lambo got across the map, it was too late. It was too late. Solar, he'd been able to re-drone, resaturate, rebuild his third, get his Roach run up and running as well, and he was able to shut down said all-in. GG, well played. Again, it was a little bit similar when it comes to the game previously when Lambo defended against the 10 pool, right? Lambo, he had the better defense, he had the better setup, but then we saw Lambo be greedy and get a third expansion, right? So we saw multiple times where I would say that Lambo had the better early game, but in the aftermath was maybe taking some risks or was out of position or just wasn't able to keep up with some of the aggression of Solar, and so was able to force mistakes or create these openings for himself. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar. He does claim the series, and with that, he will advance on. Lambo is out of the RSL. I would say that Lambo did not play badly at all this series. As we mentioned multiple times in a lot of these games, he was ahead, but would end up losing that lead. So, again, Lambo, he will bow out, Solar will advance on, and with that we have both Solar and SHIN advancing into that lower bracket. Meanwhile, that is all we have for you today. Again, only two series. Tomorrow we're going to be live with the upper bracket matches. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. Tomorrow is going to be Clem versus Serral and Hero versus Rogue. A TVZ and a PVZ. Oh boy, so we do have thankfully no mirror matchups tomorrow. It's going to be purely Terran versus Zerg and Protoss versus Zerg. I'm looking forward to it. I definitely have my expectations, and curious to see how some of these games do pan out. We'll be there for you tomorrow with the co-stream. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Let's quickly have a look at the schedule here. Bam, as you can see, we have our schedule. We were live earlier this morning with Crank Gathers. I do recommend the VODs if you missed it. Crank Gathers was a big Team League event with StarCraft Evolution. We were featuring Basilisk, Onside, Team Liquid, and many other teams. Shopify as well. We had all the best teams in StarCraft that were facing off in a Team League, and we crowned our champion this morning. If you missed it, again, I recommend it. It was really cool to see Serral and Clem and Hero and Classic and all these big names playing in a Team League after so long. So if you missed that Team League content, check out the VODs, because we covered it this morning, like 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago we did cover it. We were the official English casters for it, of course. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to be live with the fourth day of the RSL playoffs. Likewise, the rest of the week is going to be looking, as you can see here, with Water TV Monday, Sparkling Tuna Cups, the Podcast, Kung Fu Cup, and Pegasus Cup as well, of regular scheduled broadcasting. If you want to help support the RSL, you can do so via Patreon, !RSL in the chat. You have the link, you have the command. Again, if you want to be a part of voting on maps, voting on players, getting replays, and of course getting a discount on merchandise, then Patreon is the place to be for the RSL. Otherwise, you can support us. We have our own Patreon, we have our own YouTube channel, we have our own content as well that we do bring to you on a daily basis. We do what we can. There's a lot of other ways to support StarCraft, whether it's RSL, whether it's GSL, whether it's Tuna Cup, whether it's the CranKy Ducklings. I know, of course, that everyone's quite limited in how much they can support StarCraft, and there are a lot of ways to do so. Even just watching is the least that we ask, of course. Least that we ask, just watch some StarCraft, tune in, and enjoy the content. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off here for the time being. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in 24 hours for the next day of the RSL. Whew, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go rest up for a little bit, and I'll be back actually shortly with what? With some Divinity. For those that are unaware, it's quite rare for us to all come together, but myself alongside Yaku and Kuro are going to be playing some Divinity Original Sin 2. We started our playthrough in 2021. No, I think 2019, long time ago. We just almost never have time to play together. We play like once a month, if that, so barely any time, but we should be playing in a couple of hours time, like in an hour or so. We'll be able to come together and play some Divinity. Hopefully hopefully everything lines up for us and we can play some Divinity. Otherwise, thanks for watching again. That'll be on my personal stream. We don't stream on the CranKy Ducklings, we stream on our personal channels when we do play that sort of stuff, whether it's ladder sessions or Divinity or Final Fantasy, for example, or any other games. Will be on our personal channels. Another Divinity stream? It's already been 5 years. True. In preparation for the new Divinity game that's coming out, so of course. Gotta wrap up Original Sin 2. But we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you soon. Whether it's for StarCraft in 24 hours or Divinity in a couple of hours, we'll see you then. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.